Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Black Men Unfiltered Network, to another show this Friday. Your boys back in the building. For the last few weeks, we've had guest hosts. Shout out to Mr. Bennett for giving up a great show. Shout out to JC for giving up a great show. Giving up to JT for giving up a great show, man. I appreciate you guys for stepping in and stepping out and having conversations, man. It is so good to have men who have something on their mind, and I'm being able to provide a platform for my brothers to come in and have a good time. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being a part of this network. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If it's your first time here, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe button, tell your mom and them, tell everybody about this channel so we can continue to grow and do what it is that we need to do here. Tonight we have a show. Stay-at-home dads are growing. Is this a new tactic to emasculate? Guys, you got to understand the percentages right now are amazing. Percentages right now on stay-at-home dads, wow, the numbers are rising. So I definitely want to get into this conversation with the fellas tonight as they come in. I'm also going to drop the link and have some guys come up, whoever wants to come up who's sitting at home right now. One of the fellas, any fella that wants to come in, feel free to do so. I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you again for being here. After this song right here, I'm waiting on y'all to get in y'all mood, waiting on y'all to sit down, waiting on y'all to get around the other fellas, put it up on the big screen. We're about to get it in tonight. After this song, we'll go into our intro, and then we'll go ahead and start our show right after this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for being here tonight. Black Men Unfiltered Network at the Barbershop. Y'all already see who in here. King Bennett is in the building tonight, along with King Trey is in the building tonight. So good to see you, my brother. So good to see you, man. I got to start with the chat here. Lady Navoa is in the building tonight. She say, hey, make sure to hit that like as you enter into the live, and remember to keep it 100. Keep it respectful in the chat. To the panel and mostly the host, relax, chill, and enjoy. And then we have the Secretary of Common Sense. Happy Friday night, y'all. All right, it's happy Friday to you. Dr. Nkumbe is in the building tonight. Greetings to the chat. He says, see you guys soon. All right. So thank you guys for being here tonight. I got to check on you guys before we get started. Mr. Bennett, how are you tonight? And then Trey, right after that, you can hop in and give us how are you and the family doing as well.
We are doing well. Another productive week. And again, first of all, let me say thank you for the unexpected, but hopefully fruitful opportunity to have that barbershop last week. Absolutely. That was actually one of the first times I had an opportunity to kind of flesh out some of those ideas that I had in front of a public audience like that. So I appreciate the stage and the opportunity. But otherwise, we're doing good here. It's draft weekend, so I'm also in a good mood. My team has made some excellent choices so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of what this draft's going to have to offer. So black and yellow in the house.
Absolutely, man. All right, still a nation, baby. All right, Trey, what's going on with you, man?
What's good? I'm good. Everything's good on this side. It's raining over here in the DMV. It's been raining all day. It is still raining, so that can kind of put a damper on things. But other than that, I have no complaints. The little girl is in here. She just got put down to go to bed, so hopefully she doesn't wake up. Other than that, we good over here.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys for being here, man. So there's a lot going on in the world today. Mr. Bennett, I saw a video and I want to share it with you guys. When the other guys get here, I'll also share it with them as well. But I'm gonna play it for you guys to hear it. Give me just a second. And then we'll ice break with this video. Give me just a second. Hold on, where is it at? Let's see. 1 second. Did I send it? I think I downloaded it, man. But while we're doing that, Mr. Bennett, what's going on with the draft? Talk to us about the draft. I know you've been watching it.
Well, we got a dog in the first round from Georgia, offensive left tackle, so to protect our QB. So excellent pick up there. Then in the second round, we got Joey Porter Jr., son of Joey Porter, who was on 2 Super Bowl teams for us back in the day. So very excited about.
He playing where his daddy played, huh?
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
It's a nice story. The father, son playing for the father's team.
Yeah.
So we digging it. We digging it.
Oh man, so
that's a bad idea. It's too much pressure.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of pressure.
Hey, pressure bust pipes. So we'll see if he's got it or not.
Absolutely. One of the things I want to say, but while I'm still looking for this video, I thought I had downloaded, but I didn't. But it won't take but a second. But before that, I'm reading this article. It says, Mr. Bennett and Trey, oral sex is now a leading risk factor for throat cancer. Let me say it again. It's gonna be a whole lot of people on chemo.
I might have to call a doctor and make an appointment.
Hold on. I was better that one. You threw that one from left field, bro. That was like that liver shot that Tank Davis gave to Garcia the last week. I wasn't expecting that one.
Hey, now, Mr. Bennett, can you imagine? Look, here's the article right here. Oral sex is now a leading risk factor for throat cancer. I was reading. I say, man, I can't wait to share this with the fellas. This is gonna be.
I'm going to Snopes on that one. I'm going to Snopes.com. That's gotta be a fake. I ain't buying it.
I would imagine it's got a lot to do with the fact that these guys are putting their mouths on other things rather than, you know what I mean? They eating groceries these days versus eating, what they were doing in the past.
Oh, you think that's what it's due to?
I mean, it's the only sensible answer to me is that they, because let's be real here. It should be adults. Oral sex is nothing new. It's been around for,
ever
centuries. So
ever.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln was doing.
So there was no
doing
signs. There was no signs of throat cancer then. I'm only imagining now that with the popularity of the grocery eating, and now I'm just linking 2 and 2 together. That's all I'm saying.
Now I thought groceries was, or also I thought salad was the new thing.
We saying the same thing. We saying the same thing.
All right.
Oh, y'all, man.
Throat cancer.
Throat cancer. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a lot of people in the hospital. I don't think people are gonna stop eating out of the Popeyes box because of it.
The 2-piece and biscuit.
They gotta leave that dookie shooter alone, man. They gotta leave that alone.
And I think a lot of them is too. I think a lot of them get into it real good and get to going and their head go down a little bit and hit that dookie shoot, man. I'm telling you. Coming up, got a little corn in your mouth. It's just horrible. Mr. Bennett, come on back. So let me say this.
This off, man.
But I'm gonna play this video for y'all before we get into our conversation for tonight. Now, this video is talking about how women don't want to see men comfortable. Okay, men don't have the opportunity to sit down and be comfortable, right? And this is a comedian, and this is how I want to start the show out tonight. Listen to this.
Women hate comfortable, man. Women fucking hate. If they see you comfortable, if a woman sees you fucking comfortable, it does something to them on the inside. Let me tell you, if a woman comes from work and she got some groceries, and the first thing she sees when she come in the house is you laying on the sofa, fucking comfortable. My God, when she comes in, her whole face, man. She will put the bags down slow. She will talk to women who aren't there. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. La, 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 la.
Women. How do you feel, Trey? We'll start with you. How do you feel about that? Do you think there's any truth to that?
Man, that man speaking 100% facts. 100% facts. I don't know what it is about, your significant other getting pissed off when they see you, kicked up. I remember, man, in my last relationship, I had one of the things I was big on is when she wanted to go out and get a house. And of course, we had this conversation about going to get a house, and I was like, I'm not really comfortable buying a house with you yet. Let's rent. So we decided to rent a house. But my only caveat to the renting the house was that I needed my own space. I needed either a space for my motorcycle or I needed a space for like a man cave. So we found a spot where I had my little man cave, and I had my little chair, my ottoman. I had my big screen in there. And let me tell you, the way it was set up is as soon as you walk in the door, you would walk right by the man cave. It's just they turned the garage into the man cave basically. So you literally would walk right by it. Right. When I tell you, she used to walk by there, and she saw me with my feet kicked up or chilling, she would be pissed. I would hear her in the kitchen slamming shit, just closing drawers hard, slamming. I'd be like, "Dang, she got an attitude." She's like, "You just gonna chill all day?" And I'm like, "What? What is going on?" I was either at work or I was, I cut the grass or whatever the case may be. But if she saw me chilling, everything he's saying is absolute facts. Absolute facts.
Mr. Bennett, what are your thoughts?
Well, certainly, I haven't been, let's say, caught with that, but I there have been times where I may have, for example, some days from work that I need to use up before I lose them. So I just take now they call it a mental health day,
right?
And I'll take a day to myself, and the missus sometimes they think, oh, well, that's the perfect honeydew list day.
Exactly.
So now it's like I have to specify. So I said, look, I'm taking this day off, but don't ask me to do anything. I'm this is to myself. It's not an opportunity for you to, pile on. But there are times when I would say, look, I'm going to be off. And again, I usually I don't like sitting too idle anyway, but I may say, look, are there some things I need to do or whatever, write me a list or send me a text with what you need done and I'll take care of it. But if there's a day that's for me, then I need to be very explicit that, this day is for me. And usually that typically works. So for us, it's been just communication. But yeah, that expectation. Oh, you're gonna be home. Oh, great. I got a million.
Exactly.
Do this here. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't bother you on your day off. So don't, if I take a day to myself, don't necessarily come at me with it. So we had to have a conversation too.
Yeah, I think all married men do that. Baby, you out tomorrow? Didn't you say you was out tomorrow? And I just do that. I say, because the dog need to go to the vet. So since you out tomorrow, you can go ahead and take it tomorrow. We got to wait till Saturday. What? No, I'm not going nowhere. I'm gonna do what I want to do today. I'm not doing
That's
it.
it. And even on the days that are supposed to be yours, right? Like we've talked about Father's Day, right? And how much of a jip Father's Day is. And Father's Day seems to be an opportunity for everyone else to kind of do something. Or on your birthday, it's like, okay, well, what do you want to do for your birthday? Where do you want to go? I was like, I don't want to go anywhere. So it's kind of like they're looking forward. My daughters, they're looking like, oh, where are we going out for your birthday? They just come out with that. I said, I don't know. You want to get that 2-piece and biscuit from down the street? I don't know how to help you in this regard.
And my thing is, a lot of women, even the women I work with, my wife, my daughters, my aunts, like a lot of men don't really celebrate like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they think it's something really wrong with the man. Like I heard a girl at my job say, my husband must have had childhood issues because he don't like to, have a big shindig for his birthday. I'm like, no, they got nothing to do with it. He probably just want to be to himself.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. What you think, Trey?
Well, they ain't gonna let us do what we want to do anyway. So what I really want to do to celebrate, it don't involve you. So that's a lot of the issue is that you're gonna get frustrated when I tell you that, oh, it's Father's Day, and what I really want to go do is go play around the golf with the boys. You're gonna get pissed off. That's gonna irritate you. Yep. That's how I always looked at when I took my days off. I would always make sure that I had stuff to do outside the house. So whenever she started to ask, are you off today? Yeah, I'm off today, but I'm going to be here. I'm going to be there. I wasn't sitting in the house because I knew there would be something was coming along with that. There's something, my car needs some brakes or, my this or my that. And it's like, nah. So I always make sure to get out the house. But if they really knew what we really wanted to do to celebrate, they would just get even more upset.
Right. And I can't tell you how many Father's Days for years, because all 3 of my daughters, they were in dance. So their dance school, for some reason, thought, oh, it would be so great if we had the dance recital on Father's Day. So here I am. I'm in an audience for 4 hours. My daughter's got 3 numbers. I got to sit through all these routines, all these girls in their little tiaras and doing all their stuff. I got a 4-hour recital to see 3 5-minute routines every Father's Day for like a span of 5 or 6 years.
Oh,
bruh.
If you said, hey, can you have it on Mother's Day? It's like the record scratch. It's like, no, Mother's Day is sacred. So what about us? Do you think we just want to sit in and see all these girls and just doing their little pirouettes? No. But
you know what I wind up doing every Father's Day? It's always the biggest cookout day. Like that's the day the entire family wants to come over, and I wind up spending most of my time on the grill on Father's Day. That's where I'm at. I'm standing in front of a grill.
For everybody.
I'm standing in front of a grill most of the day on Father's Day. It's supposed to be my day, and I am grilling up chicken and hot dogs. You know what I mean?
Been there too.
And you know what, guys? I want to share this with you because when you said Father's Day, this is what I thought about when I heard this, guys. You're gonna roll when you hear this. Let's see. Watch this. What are y'all thoughts? What do you think, Mr. Bennett?
We got a laugh to keep from crying because that was just so true. It's so true.
Absolutely.
He said Father's Day was number what?
My oldest daughter, she's pretty good. She's pretty good at that. And now, at least now to the point that she'd be like, Dad, what do you want for Father's Day? So she'll at least get the thing started, and then she may take it to the rest of the fam or whatnot. So they've been hooking me up the last couple Father's Day. I can't lie about that. But yes, for several years, yes, that was definitely that was definitely the case.
Man, number 20.
Listen, I hope my family is listening. You guys give the worst Father's Day gifts I have ever seen. I hope y'all listen. I hope you can hear me. I hope that y'all can hear me. The worst Father's Day gifts ever. I'm literally sitting here trying to think of what was the best Father's Day gift I ever got. And I'm drawing a blank. I really am. I'm drawing a blank.
What's the man? Yeah. I don't think for Father's Day, like, I mean, I just rather not get nothing. I'd be like, you want, we got something for Father's Day. Oh, you shouldn't have. And I mean it.
Really?
I mean, I've been for real. Man, like he said, man, Father's Day is not, it's just, if it's at number 20, man, that we really in bad shape, brother.
That's why I said, black man. I mean, it's a funny joke, but it hurts a little bit too.
Man,
it stings a little bit because it's like, dang, like ghosts and goblins coming before us, like
Arbor Day.
I'm about to look up what Arbor Day is. I don't even know what Arbor Day is.
No, it's like the trees.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, the trees.
So a tree comes before us.
Oh no. Look, that's sad, bro. I don't even want to. That is sad, bro.
That's what I said. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny.
Oh,
it's
man,
a funny joke. I've seen that before. I've seen that joke before, but it's a little bit painful because it's like, I guess for us, fathers, active fathers that are around, I know we feel differently, right? And I understand the way the world feels and society feels because there are a lot of men that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. But, that's why I was so happy about what the CDC put out about Black fathers, because I think that story needed to be told. Because I looked at the Black men in my family and they were always around. The fathers were always around. So when I kept hearing about, I mean, granted, my father wasn't there, but I had, representation of Black fathers. I saw it. My uncle stepped in for me. He helped raise me from a masculine standpoint. You know what I mean? He didn't have to do it. He had 4 kids of his own. But he helped fill in the gap. So I was happy to see that the CDC would say, look, Black fathers are more likely, help their kids with homework, to pack lunches and get baths. And, I was happy to see that because it's the truth. Black fathers are around. And I feel as though we're a little bit better than socks and underwear.
Mr. Bennett?
I can't disagree with it. It's definitely, it's just like a throwaway day. And, and like I said, we take the punches, we got the shoulders to roll with it, because again, for us, it's definitely, we treat it much more as a responsibility. Well, see, a lot of it even comes from us, right?
Right.
Because until recently, you started hearing brothers or just men in general just really hyping it up. Because again, for a guy's like, yeah, well, I take care of my kids. And then even out of us, sometimes, a lot of times, it would say, well, that's what you should be doing. So we oftentimes would be saying that stuff also. So I think that what I have been seeing, and it's been nice seeing over the last few years, is that men are at least starting to recognize and honor men. And even then, you can't even get that even to yourself. Because I can put on my social media, I can say, look, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, whatnot. And without fail, there's a woman that'll come up in there and say, well, for the women who are acting in as fathers, it's like you just can't get away. It's like, can't we have a day? Can I get a meme to myself that's just focused here? But someone always has to come in and say, yeah, for the mothers who were fathers. And it's just, we just can't, they just can't. So it's almost to the first joke that you had. It's like, for some, it just stirs women a lot of times when a man acknowledges or has any kind of acknowledgement for being a man or being a father, and they just can't let it go. And so so I think that there's a lot of truth to what's saying. They may not come out, with the eyes or whatever, but I think for a lot it does bother them, especially if they've had issues with their own fathers or something like that. If the father wasn't around or for whatever reason, it is triggering to an extent. I think there's definitely something behind that.
Yeah, I think that I do think that a lot of women who say, I heard a woman say the other day that you're not a single mom if the dad is in the child's life. You're just a single woman. Let me say it again because somebody didn't catch it.
Mm.
She said, you're not a single mom if the dad is in the child's life. You're just a single woman. And I think that a lot of women, I've been at church. I've visited a church before on Father's Day because I was invited by my sister-in-law. And they said, all the men stand up for Father's Day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then after that,
Here it comes. Here it comes.
And all the mothers that are single mamas that are fathers too, y'all stand up too. And I'm like, oh man, why?
I'm like, don't say anything. I would have preferred if you didn't say anything. I agree with that.
And I sat down.
That's that pandering that the churches are doing.
Man,
they have to make sure that the women don't feel left out somehow.
Yeah.
Even though this day is clearly designed for Father's Day, for fathers, they still have to find a way. There was a joke on Instagram where these two kids, it was a white family, these two kids, the sons did this cup pyramid right at the front door. So when the dad got home from work, he was supposed to walk in and trip over all these cups. Well, the dad was hip to it. The dad opened the door, he saw the cups, and he didn't do it, right? But the mom came in and said, hey, do it, fall on purpose because they're expecting for you to see it. So the dad said, okay. So he came in through the door, he fell through the cups, he made it look really, really, really good. And the kids were laughing, we got you, dad, the whole nine, right? But if you go through the comments, all the comments said is, the mom is to be commended. The mom is to be commended. The mom made sure that the joke happened. And I'm sitting there looking, I'm going, no, the dad saw the jig was up and he could have just walked through the garage or the back door, but he did the joke anyway to make the kid, like, we can't have anything. Nothing.
No. Very true.
Hey, so anyway, I want to jump into this conversation, guys. In a little bit, I'm gonna show y'all a video of something that my son did, guys, that had me rolling. I know I'm gonna share it with y'all. But anyway, stay-at-home dads. Trey, we'll start with you. How do you feel about the number rising for men that men are deciding to stay home while their wives work?
Well, I mean, I think it's a combination of several things. I think when you have a rise of, well, I don't even know if it's a rise anymore, but you have the number of single moms raising, boys now. They don't feel the necessary need to be that provider, that protector. I guess they feel as though it's okay. It's an okay role to stay at home. I think that plays a part in it. There's also the fact that the feminist movement has allowed women to go out and make a lot more money than what they used to before, which can provide, households a different level of income, whereas maybe some dads can stay home. I will say this, though. I'm not necessarily agreeing with it, but I will make the point that the data and statistics have shown that dads typically are better parents, right? I don't necessarily think that this is the worst thing in the world. It's to leave the kids at home with the dad, considering that all of the data and the statistics show that dads tend to raise better, well-rounded children. I don't think that necessarily leaving the kids with the dad on a more full-time basis is the worst thing. However, from the optics standpoint, I could see how it could be quite confusing to say, Black Man Unfiltered's family where, his dad, Black man's dad, he goes out to work every day. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that it could be a little bit confusing, but I feel a lot more comfortable seeing kids with their dads on that type of level as opposed to the stay-at-home mom.
Mr. Bennett?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Trey. I think certainly it doesn't surprise me, especially with women obviously making a lot more income. I've seen it personally. I had a boss who had a stay-at-home husband. I wouldn't say dad, because the only kids they had were their cats. All right, so she used to have parties. Like, she was very open. She would invite folks over to the house, have get-togethers and whatnot. Very sociable and whatnot. So I would speak to him and whatnot. And he was basically he just took care of the house. He didn't have a job. He didn't have a career. I know another guy I work with personally. His wife was making a lot of money, and she basically told him, that, look, if you want to come home for a while, because I don't know if he was either frustrated with his career path or he was at a sort of a crossroads, and she was basically saying, look, you can just come home and just take care of the house and everything. I'm making good money or whatever. We're good. But to Trey's point, I definitely think that fathers in general, or just men in general, because I think a lot of us are very task oriented. I think the way we approach projects is such where I think overall the house is better. Like, if I have to do anything in the house, whether I, vacuum or mop or anything else, it was just drilled into me early on that you do everything like almost like I wasn't in the military, but it's like, it was like you had the shine test or the dust test or whatever. So I'm just very methodical about how I went about things. And so whether it be, with kids care or cooking or whatever, it's like, it's a task. It's a challenge. You know what I mean? And I think just the way, that same mentality you apply to everything, it would make sense that that men would be even better house husbands, even if you weren't, if you didn't have kids. You're just going to be better, I think, a lot of times at a lot of these tasks that require physical labor, manual labor, or whatever to get things done. Tasks, to-do lists and things of that nature. As I said earlier, I think we're just better generally overall at that. But yeah, I've seen it personally. As far as how I felt about it, I didn't have a position necessarily one way or the other. It's interesting because my wife and I, when we went over to my former boss's house, she was upset about it. I was kind of ribbing her on the way home. Now I'm saying, this would be a great idea. If you made, all the money, would you be okay with me staying home? And she got indignant. And she was like, no, absolutely not. So she just, but that almost goes to that first joke. It said they can't stand for us being in their minds, not doing anything. So she was like, she just couldn't see that. She didn't come from that. And that just rubbed her all the wrong way. But I was just having a lot of fun with her on the way home, just saying, yeah, but it would be, think about it. You're making good. But she just wasn't having it. She just, the idea of a man staying home in her world is, and it doesn't matter how much money, if she made enough money where I never had to go to work or no one had to go to work, she would have a problem. I would have to do something. And so she took it a lot. She took it a lot worse than I did. But I do recognize it is a reality, just with with this economy and just the way women are moving these days. So, but I don't think I feel bad about it. But it is something that is changing. And I think certainly, to Trey's point, men being involved in kids' lives like that, that I think that's more of a good thing, and it's a good image, especially with Black men, since our image, despite the statistical data that he referred to earlier, we're still looked at in a certain way, and just seeing men just actively involved in the raising of their children, I think helps to change that image up.
I have a question for y'all. How does that work in a marriage from a leadership standpoint? If the dad stays at home, how does that work out?
I couldn't do it, brother. I'm gonna go ahead and get mine out. I couldn't do it. I would feel, and this is no shot at the men who do. I would feel less than a man sitting at home all day and my wife coming in from work. It would do something to me. I think it's because of the way I was raised, maybe, or I saw men go out and work, but I couldn't. It wouldn't sit right with me to be sitting on the couch watching TV or in the kitchen and my wife coming through the door like, oh my God, I'm just beat down for the. No, I'm out. I can't. So I don't know, Mr. Ben, you can answer this question. It's just hard.
Well, it's interesting what you just said, because I think that's part of the. I think that's part of the perception I think everyone's fighting. You said,
right.
I can't imagine my wife coming home and seeing me watch TV. But from old school, the way my mom used to,
right.
clean house and whatnot, you were busy sun up to sundown.
Right.
It was not, you weren't, the TV might have been playing in the background, but you were doing something. Or you might have took you might have took that hour to watch As the World Turns or All My Children or something, but then you get right back to it. That came on at 3.
Right.
You started preparing dinner 4 in the afternoon or whatever, because you knew, folks were coming in. So this perception that being at home isn't work is a misnomer, especially back in the day when, before you had
Right.
a lot of these modern conveniences and whatnot. You were washing you had that washboard for the clothes and hanging clothes in the back and with the clothes hangers and all that kind of stuff. So, so that was work. And a lot of women stayed slim because of that. They weren't just getting, laying up there, just getting fat. So, so I think that, so that perception is something that is something that, even we have to change sometimes also, if in fact we were going to be in that role, if we had to do it. I mean, just based on the guys I know on this panel, we would go, above and beyond. I grew up with, you pull the oven out and you clean behind it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You get that scrubber on the floor to get those, extra marks up and whatnot. You going into the cupboards and you getting rid of stuff. And so, so like I said, the task itself, I value just homework in general. If you're going to be a true housewife, not one of these wives who got the nannies and doing everything, but you're just going around acting ratchet. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're going to be truly dedicated to maintaining your home, also the affairs of the home. So if you're doing the accounting and the, paying the bills and doing all the things that enable the house to run, you're going to school meetings and you're doing all that. I put a lot of value on that. And so I'm not going to, poo-poo regardless of who does it. But I know for me, it may come to a point where if I don't find fulfillment in that, or if that's not keeping me busy enough, just my personality, I need something to do. I need to get out and do, some other things that I wouldn't necessarily. So I would feel less of a man based on that if I'm not productive.
Right.
More so than the role that I may have in that particular situation.
Right. Exactly. Marriage, politics, and sports. Thank you for being here tonight, my brother. I put the link down for you to come up, man. I would love to have you and your perspective, man. It'll be your first time here, so on the panel. So come on up. He said, Mr. Bennett, your wife says it all. A house husband is will always be an outlier. It's not just a cultural no, but a biological one as well. What do you think, Mr. Bennett?
Well,
thank you for that $10 super chat, my brother. I appreciate it.
If you talk about young kids and nursing, breastfeeding, and just a lot of those a lot of those functions and tasks, I mean, I would certainly agree with that. But once they get up to a certain age where they're in school, you're helping with homework, or you're going to, you're volunteering, you're doing just other things. I see it less so as a biological function, but yeah, those early years, those first 3-4 years, I think it's important for a woman to be able to bond with the children. And I think there's something to be said. I mean, it's almost by chance. We almost got into this organization called La Leche. It was something out of like The Handmaid's Tale. Honestly, I mean, you had these women, and they were dedicated to homeschooling and breastfeeding to like kids were like 5. It was like we went to an event, like just because good friend of ours, she was kind of involved with. She invited us to this event. I remember this kid. He had to be like 4 or 5 years old. Went up to his mom, tapped her on the shoulder. She just lifts up the breast so he can get a drink right there.
Wow.
It's like open. I mean, like really family beds. They're like into like everybody sleeps in the same bed, And so they got some real old school. If you know that actress from Blossom, said Mayim Malak or whatever, she's into a lot of that stuff. I mean, so yeah, very, different lifestyle. And I was like, we went to one meeting and I was like, nah, that's enough for us. But a lot of that kind of old school rearing of families and whatnot, it's like, nah. So in that situation, yeah, you definitely need a woman to take care of a life. You're going to be operating on that level. But with the more modern stuff now, I don't know if it's necessarily biological, at least up to a certain age. I would say once the kids are in school and whatnot, then I think certainly, men can do just as good a job, or as was said earlier, if not better, in the process. Just the way our minds just kind of how we tackle tasks. It becomes more of a project for us, more so than just some natural, maternal instinct.
Hey,
yeah,
because what'll happen?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. 5 years old, walking up, standing up, holding the titty.
Yeah, he just went. He said like this. She just okay.
Yeah.
So
Trey, what you got, man? He breaking up a little.
I got nothing on it.
So you know what? What happens is when men stay at home with their children, things like this could happen. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my son. My son is a comedian. He's 10. He's funny. He came up with this himself. I didn't shy him away from, I guess that's what he feels like. He's a comedian. I don't know how he got introduced to this. Maybe he was seeing it somewhere one day. However, this is my son calling himself Baby Kevin. And so this is what happens when you leave kids at home with their fathers. This kind of thing happens. This is my son, Jay. Jay, you have the floor.
Who's online today?
My name's Maya.
Hello, Maya. What do you need today?
Well, there's this boy in my class, Baby Kevin, but, you know, I like him, but he's starting to get on my nerves. He's just crazy or whatever, and I think I'm better than him anyway.
So you think you're better than him?
I do think I'm better than him.
How tall are you?
I'm about 3 feet.
How many bowls of cereal did you eat today?
I eat 3.
So you need a handsome third grader. You mean 3 bowls of cereal a day. Get out my line.
Bro.
man.
Oh my God, bro. Look. Listen, I didn't tell him what to say. When he said 3 bowls of cereal, I almost broke character because I didn't hear that coming. He said, "How many bowls of cereal did you eat?" Oh man, I was laughing so hard, man. That was
good.
My son is wild. He is crazy.
Man.
But man, I love him to death. But anyway, so do you think, let me ask this question. Do you think it's emasculating for a woman to even ask a man, hey, quit your job, stay at home with the kids, I'll go do the work?
Oh boy. If you had to pin me to an answer, I would say no. In that, I think your sense of self, your sense of masculinity, it shouldn't be conditional on your circumstances. I think a lot of things could be emasculating. If you're in prison, that could be emasculating. If you are in a situation, if you are disabled, that could be emasculating. I mean, so should your external condition dictate your sense of self or masculinity? And as much as work, again, we talked about it on the Tuesday show, the idea of when Adam was in the garden, basically God gave him a job. So he had a purpose. He had tasks to do in the garden.
Right.
And so certainly that is an important aspect of being a man, having a reason to get up every day and to do productive things.
Right.
So again, if you can tie being at home and taking care of the home and taking care of the family, if you can associate that with being productive and thinking about the future, then it doesn't have to be emasculating. But again, if you've grown up thinking a certain way, thinking about this is what manhood is supposed to look like, then that can be, then certainly it can be. But it's all up here. It's all about how you think about it or how you've been conditioned to think about it. I think that really makes the difference. But in and of itself, it doesn't have to be emasculating. So I would say no. But again, I recognize that for some men, they would have an issue with that. And I think also a lot of it has to depend, again, for those who are conditioned by it, I think a lot of it has to depend on how the woman approaches it. If she's going to, because everything sounds great in a vacuum, but if in fact the woman starts to lose respect for you as a man, even though it might have been her idea, but if that starts to happen as well, then that's going to make it that much harder. So I think how she approaches it is going to be also important in terms of how, for a man who doesn't see his own inherent masculinity, his own value in being a man, if he doesn't see that, then that can certainly exacerbate the problem too, her reaction to it. But you're still talking about an external influence that is affecting how he feels about himself.
Trey, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, one more time with the question. I apologize. I stepped away.
No, you're good. Is it emasculating for a woman to ask her husband to leave his work and become a stay-at-home father because she makes more, right?
Hell yeah, it's emasculating. I mean, in the case of gender roles, yes, it is. I mean, it's the way it's been. It's the way it should be. But I can understand that in the future that, like I said before, women are making more money, and it's sort of this incessant need to flip the field, right? We're gonna do it the other way, and so I can see a woman doing it. Listen, I was with a woman who asked me one time if I wanted to stay home. She made close to $200,000, and at the time I wasn't making that kind of money. I was still on the department. I was making about 73, 74. I just started my career. And she asked me, like, you don't have to work. You don't have to do that dangerous job. You could just stay home. And needless to say, about 3 or 4 weeks after that, we were done. It was over. Like, it was,
wow.
There was no relationship after that because I could see where this was going. And I didn't know she felt like that from the beginning, or else I would have never dated her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Trey, were there kids involved here?
No kids.
So see, that's the thing. I mean, the way even the question was posed, assuming that she said it this way, is kind of problematic. Like, why would she say, "Oh, well, you don't have to work; you can stay home"? As if to say, "Well, first."
She always had an issue with the job I had.
No, but and that's fine. But why say, if I was going to talk to her, it's like, why say, "Well, stay at home," versus find something else or find something safer to do? Because again, if you don't have kids, if you don't have a reason to be home, what does she expect you to do with your time? And you strike me as a very productive, self-motivated man. So that could be toxic for a lot of guys if you're going to give them that, that alternative. And you're not going to take to it well. But if she said, well, why don't you, if you want to take a step back and maybe take another job or another career path or something like that, and you don't have to worry about, the bills while you work this out, I could see that maybe working a little bit differently. But I would have, what use is it to stay at home? I mean, how much you can possibly do in that situation? That doesn't, that doesn't make sense to me.
So what was happening? I guess I should have gave you a little bit more context. What was happening is that at the time I had started working a ton of overtime. On a department, you can work as much overtime as you want to.
Right.
And I was trying to build up some money so I could put a down payment on this rental property. So she saw me working. And her thought process was, you're working so hard to get this rental property. When you get this rental property, I don't want you to have to keep doing this every time you want a new rental property, because that was my thought process. My thought process was I'll work as much as I need to so that I'll be able to have the down payment, so I can go out and get as many rental properties as necessary. Her thought process was, well, when you get your first one, you can just stay at home, and that way you can work on getting more properties. But at the time, it just, like you said, Mr. Bennett, I can't sit at home. Even now, technically, retired, I'm out the house every day. I don't sit in the house ever, hardly ever. I'm hardly ever at home. I can't do it. So it didn't work out. And I think, honestly, a little bit of her control kind of seeped out a little bit. There was a comfort level because, when you're an officer, you're always on the go. I was on a presidential detail for a little while. Like, I was always moving. I was trying to become a detective. I was always moving around. So I think there was a little bit of her that wanted to kind of get me to sit still. And that's what I said. Like, about 3 or 4 weeks later, we were done because I was like, that's never going to happen. because I learned that from watching my family members. The more sedentary family members I had, they wind up dying earlier. And the family members that I have that are always on the move and always are doing, even my grandmother, she's 83 years old. She doesn't look a day over 70 because she walks her dog 3 times a day. You know, she's always moving. And I learned that lesson early. So, yeah, but I mean, but even when she said it, Mr. Bennett, it felt like, damn, like, I'm not a man. Like, you know what I mean? Even when she asked me, it was like, really? You know what I mean? Like, really? Like, nah, I can't stay at home. I can't do that.
Yeah. And our pain is in the building tonight, man. Thank you for being here tonight, my brother.
Our pain, you came back for more, huh? You
yes, I sure did.
Yeah, the other day.
Look, we went at it early on Trigger Mike show.
Right. The other day on Trigger Mike, they had this conversation. I want to actually have this conversation as a part 2 to what Trigger Mike was saying. That was a great conversation with Trigger Mike and our pain and Trey and everybody else. So I'm going to ask our pain, man. Do you think it's emasculating for a woman to ask a man to quit his job and stay home and be still while she does the work because she makes more?
I mean, even in the beginning, even if it isn't, it'll turn into that. Even in the beginning, she might even have some altruistic reason to do it, but it will turn into that. And when I was looking at the biological thing, it's not necessarily just on the man's part. I just think women aren't biologically wired to be, leading their husbands. Not like that. I mean, I'm just saying, listen, if you got your wife out there and she got a high-powered job, and let's just bring it on a primal level. There's a lot of alpha men out there. You're home, right? Now, even if you're busy. Now, if you have a business and you have something you're doing that's constructed, even if you have a real estate license and you're selling licenses, but you're selling houses and stuff and all kinds of functions there where you can stay home and work from there, that's still different because you're holding your own, right?
Right.
But your wife, I mean, if you got a decent looking wife, even if she's not high powered, in general, she's getting hit on all the time. She don't come home and tell you that. She ain't gonna tell you that because she just brushes it off. It's a natural thing for women to be out there, right? And there's subtle things going on. But if she takes a lot, I mean, you don't have to worry about this being just because she's gonna cheat on you. But I'm just saying, it's going to be hard for her not to compare the fact that her husband's home asking her for milk money and cigarette money and shit like that, excuse my language, while she's working hard and you're home, right? Maybe you might be one of those stupid husbands when the kids are young and buying the fake titties and having the kid drink out of that. I mean, she come home and see you with one of those things on. It just doesn't work. Can I say it would never work? No, I can't say that. Right? But it's an outlier. It's an outlier. I mean, that's all I'm saying. And I'm using these drastic examples, but I don't think you will feel well after a while, and I think she'll lose some respect for you after a while. That's just how I think. Right. And that's why it hasn't caught on. I think they tried to do that in the '90s. They had some sitcoms. They had some things. Even that movie, Mr. Mom. If they tried that. In the end, he was getting ready to have the affair with the women in the neighborhood, and she was getting hit on by the boss. And they kept it comical, but these were some of the things that you had to face. And then they had to reconcile at the end. But, I don't know how much art imitated life or was art informing how it would be in the real life. Who knows?
Right. And I'm going to say this because we got JT from What We Know podcast came in, our pain in this thing, Hank, Trey, man. Thank you guys for being here. Now I want to play this video again that I played at the beginning of the video that says the opposite. And this comedian is saying that women don't want to see men in those places where they're comfortable. So I'm going to play this again for y'all to watch. Here we go.
Women hate comfortable, man. Women fucking hate. If they see you comfortable, if a woman sees you fucking comfortable, it does something to them on the inside. Let me tell you, if a woman comes from work and she got some groceries, and the first thing she sees when she come in the house is you laying on the sofa, fucking comfortable. My God. When she comes in, her whole face, man. She will put the bags down slow. She will talk to women who aren't there. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Look, 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 look. Women.
R-Pain, what you think, R-Pain?
I mean, I'm serious. That's probably real. That's probably true.
Yeah.
Looking comfortable.
JT, what's up, man? Hey, what are your thoughts, JT, on the video? Then you can answer the question. Is a woman asking a man to stay home because she makes double or triple what he makes? Is that emasculating? But you go ahead with the video comment first, then we didn't go into that.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. You know, if a woman come home, she done been working it, she been out there tackling the world, and she got groceries, and all she do is see you laid up,
Man,
comfortable.
He said he right, man. I agree completely, brother. Go ahead.
It would do something to her. I mean, it'll do something to me if I'm out there like that, you know, and that's my daily routine, looking like that, you know. So yeah, I agree.
So JT, Nidra comes to you, your lovely fiance comes to you, and she says, JT, I have a promotion at my job. I'm gonna be making $285,000 a year. I need you to quit your job and sit at home. And I don't need you to do anything else. Just sit at home, be a stay-at-home husband.
That might not be enough.
What are you
thinking? Bump it up to 5.
Yeah, I would know if there's an ulterior motive already by her telling me to stay my ass at home. No, you go get the money. That what I'm gonna do with my time is that's my business. You know, you're not gonna tell me to stay home. That's not, you don't dictate that. You know, so it's nah, and it's still I might not. For one, real life, I'm not gonna be staying home, man. You know how many years it's been since I didn't have a job or I didn't work. It's damn near since I was 17. 15. I've been in the work field for a very long time. When I take a week or two off for leave, I feel funny because I feel like I done took too much time off. So I ain't cut for that. I get home, I'ma die. I stay home. I'm close to retirement age, man. So
that's what I'm saying. I said 5.
Yes, sir. Hell Speak says 285 too low. She should be making 500. Hey, Miss Suriel, come on up, man. Come on up.
Northeast.
The link at the top.
And there's no staying home for what? What I'm staying home for? Nah, I got hobbies now.
All right, now Hink, I gotta come to my boy Hink.
Those I need to get to.
I gotta get my boy Hink in there. Hink, she telling you she making this 6 figures, brother, and she needs you to stay at home. She don't need you to do nothing, man. We had this conversation on Trigger Mike the other day, man. It's a whole bunch of interesting. It was actually a guy on there who was a stay-at-home father. But yeah, and Hink ate him up. But Hink, what are your thoughts? Is there anything she can do to keep you at home if she's making that kind of money? Make you just leave your job?
You said that guy was a stay-at-home father, so he had stuff to do. He wasn't.
Yeah, he was a stay-at-home father, right? Or was he just a stay-at-home husband?
I don't know what the dynamic was, but I don't know. I don't know if it was father husband. Regardless, I mean, I look at it like this: regardless who stays at home, eventually your kids are going to eventually grow up and move out. What's the plan then?
Yeah.
So you gonna have no job history, say for 18, maybe 19 plus years, and then all of a sudden you're gonna have to get back out there and try to find a job. Yeah, that to me, financially, I don't mean, some people can afford to do it, some people can't. I don't know why we even have these conversations on here. Like most of us on here can't afford to retire their wife or keep their wife home. We can't. We lying to our goddamn selves. Matter of fact, some of us to the point, you motherfuckers need 2 goddamn jobs. That's how broke you motherfuckers are.
A piece.
So yeah, I'm just trying to figure this out. You high value Negroes. This shit's crazy, man. Look here. Look here. I don't want to be a stay-at-home father because first of all, I get too goddamn bored to be sitting there looking at four walls all goddamn day. Ain't enough TV shows to catch up on. No, I don't like you motherfuckers on YouTube anyway. I don't want to keep watching y'all ugly asses. Yeah, I'm not gonna be staying at home watching y'all ugly asses unless y'all crazy ass all goddamn day and say pause after every word that y'all consider gay shit. Fuck that shit. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So I could be no stay-at-home father. Why you talking about you? No, hell no. Stay at home for what? I stay at home when I'm retired from working and I'm getting a pension. Right. So we don't continue to get this income.
Imagine her calling you, Hank. Hey, Hank. Hey, baby. How's your day going? It's going all right. You cook? Did you wash them clothes today?
Did you separate the whites from the colors?
Did you run them errands?
Right. Hey, I left my period panties in the closet. Did you put them in the washroom?
Well, let me say this. I'm right now I'm talking to my lady.
Right, man, you ain't right, man.
Hold on, time out, brother Payne. Going, if you ever come to me talking about you can retire my ass, we got a problem. So you heard it from me first. Retiring my black ass. I ain't retiring shit.
So hold on, Hank. So stay right there then, Hank, because how do you feel about Tabitha Brown retiring her husband? She said any dream he want to have, she's going to buy him a boat, whatever he want to do, he ain't got to work for the rest of his life. He can sit around the house.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Tabitha Brown. The young lady that she's a vegan, and then she blew up on the internet on YouTube, and then now she signed a multi-million-dollar deal with the cooking network or whatever. She got her own cooking seasoning, books, cups. She's on TV. She's an actress now on The Chi. Like, she's making millions of dollars. And she said her husband was a police officer for 15 plus years, and she retired him. She said she wanted him to be at home, and she's going to buy him a boat, and whatever dream he wants, she will fulfill it.
Man, look here, man. Again, I'm going to have a hobby or something. I got to get the hell out of the house. You're not going to sit there and have me at your beck and call, bring me some lunch to work. You got to shoot today. Could you, bring me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Hell no, man. I'm going to be out there doing some type of, I'm out there mentoring kids. I got to be doing something.
Wait.
Y'all ain't packing lunches in Tupperware and leaving notes in the lunch boxes. And
you know what's funny? Imagine a Hank in that apron bringing that damn peanut butter.
Hey, black man, I put a little something special in your lunchbox. I got you a couple extra chocolate chip cookies in there for you, baby.
Hey, that's a lot of dudes out here, man. I'm looking.
Good luck to them with that situation. There ain't no goddamn way I'll be doing that shit. First of all, I get too bored to be being home like that. Look here, when I'm off, man, I get bored as hell. I got to do something.
Yeah, you be stir crazy. Yeah, you be stir crazy, brother.
Yeah, I can't do it, man. I don't have to be working actually out there doing some labor job. But if I'm doing something that's going to occupy my time besides staying around looking at my house all day, you're not going to talk about, man, you need to clean the baseboards. Man, what the hell are you talking about? Clean the baseboards? What the shit? I'm not doing this shit, man.
So it goes back to my, I guess, original question before you guys jumped on. So if that's how you think staying at home is, do you think that's what she's doing all day?
What I think? What you said? What? I'm sorry, Mr. Bennett.
So the way you described it, I pose the same question to Black Man. If that's your perception of what that life is like, do you think that's what she's doing all day? Just looking at four walls or not doing anything to run the house? Because I think a lot of how we're feeling about it has a lot to do with what we think that job entails. And if that's it, then yeah, you're going to feel a certain way about it. But like I said, back in the day, housework was sun up to sun down. It wasn't like you weren't messing around. If you were cooking home cooked meals and you were cleaning and doing all like the major stuff or whatever, that was a round clock up. So you weren't women weren't just sitting down and just watching soap operas, eating bonbons all day. So, but if that's how
they
we
not doing
perceive
they
it,
not doing all that, Mr. Bennett. They not cleaning every day, cooking every day. That's not the situation.
but that's
no
what
more.
that's why I'm asking the question
So-
like that. I'm saying, if like, how do you perceive that job? And so if you ask your lady to go ahead and do that, then certainly that's the perception what you would think her role would be if she was home like that all day.
You got a lot of women who really don't want to work. If they had an option or choice, they prefer to stay at home, and a lot of them prefer to do housework instead of going to, hearing Mr. Charlie get on her ass every other minute because her work performance is low or whatever the case may be. They prefer to do. My lady's like that. She prefers not to. You know what I'm saying? She's a teacher, but during the summertime when she was down here with me, she kept my house clean, way cleaner than what I clean. I thought I was cleaning until I seen it. I'm like, God damn, baby.
Right.
But so she was.
around.
So I'm saying, so she was active. She wasn't just laying
Yes.
around. She was working.
No.
So
No. She was active, doing what she needed to do. But she also shared with me that if this could be her life, she could see that she can do that. I said, baby, you ain't got no 6-figure dude. You need to go find another one. I ain't that one. Not yet, anyway. I mean, I ain't gonna say that's not my goal.
That's right.
Right now, I'm not there, so
that's
I
right.
need you to
Check
keep
that.
on clocking in, so we can
that.
bring this money to the Hink household. You understand what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Right. And let me share this.
I'm not knocking nobody who's a housewife and that's what they do. Hey man, you doing the Lord's work. You doing what your husband needs of you, and that's cool.
All right, so I want to share this with y'all, man. This is the video that I was telling y'all about when she says that she is retiring her husband. So here we go.
Good morning. Y'all all right? Today is a special. We moved to Los Angeles in 2004. And
You turn up a little bit.
we moved here. We moved with no family, right? No friends. Just me and my husband and Choice. And then we had one friend who moved with us, but it was just us. And we had no jobs when we came. We had about $8,000 that we had saved up. And all we had was my dream of pursuing my acting career and praying to make it big one day, right? And so when I first came, I got here, I worked at Macy's. I got a job within the first month of being here. And Chance had got a job at like a little law firm, like prepaid legal, answering phones and stuff. And then he took the journey of becoming a police officer. I remember the day he came home and said, "Babe, I met these two cool cops today," which was very rare for us coming from the South. Like, we just didn't ever really encounter police officers the way he did, that looked like him and talked like him and was cool. And he was like, "I think I want to join LAPD." And I was like, "Really, babe?" He was like, "Yeah, it's good benefits, salary good. Then, we wouldn't really have to worry about one income being shaky. Like, you would always be able to pursue your dream without having to have like a real steady career outside of acting." And I thought, okay, ain't nothing that my husband can't do. That's how I believe. I believe if you want to do something, honey, try it out. That's the only way we're going to know if we're successful or not. And so I told him, I said, "Okay, babe, if you do this job, if you take on this journey in this career, give me 5 years." Because I still, as much as I supported him and was excited about it for him, the thought of my husband having to wear a bulletproof vest to work every day and putting his life on the line for others was commendable, but still scared me, And so I said, "You know what? Give me 5 years, babe. I'm gonna blow up. I'm gonna get this acting thing. I'm gonna blow up, and then I'll take you out of there. I'll retire you from LAPD, and then you can pursue something that you love. A dream that you have. And he said, "Okay, babe. All right, 5 years. All right, I'm gonna do it." And so he began that journey of LAPD. And here we are 15 years later. I missed the 5-year mark, okay? But 15 years later, I have said to him, babe, it's time. It's time. And it's a bittersweet moment because it has been an emotional roller coaster for the last 15 years of him being a police officer. As we know, it's been tough as a Black man. And then also being an officer, it has been very tough. And when my husband went on this journey, he really felt like he could make a difference. And I know that he has in his community. I know that he has done his part. But I also know that it's time for him to dream again. It's time for him to think like a child and think, ooh, when I grow up, what do I want to be? And it's something else. It's time for a new journey, a new chance at life, right? And God has blessed us. He has blessed me that I can retire my husband. Not 5 years, but 15. And honey, we're going to take it, okay? So today he is taking all of his things and turning it all in at LAPD. So it's bittersweet. And I'm grateful and I'm thankful. Oh, but I have been speaking this for quite some time. One day I'm going to retire my husband. And it has happened today. So, yeah, I want to talk to him before he leaves. He's a little emotional, right? He's trying to process it all. It has taken him a year to make this decision, but he has made it. And I'm so proud of him. But I'm so excited for him to do some of the things he's always loved to do, but has never really had the courage to do because of fear of, no, baby, somebody got to have a steady check coming in this house, right? And then I got a steady one, okay, that can provide for both of us, our entire family. And so my husband loves music. He loves children. He loves basketball. So I want him to dream bigger and figure out whatever his path is, honey. And if it take him 15 years to figure it out, he got time. So anyway, let's talk to him real quick before he leaves. All right, babe. It's about to go down. 15 years. Come to this day.
Mm-hmm.
It's bittersweet.
Yeah. Bittersweet.
How you feeling?
A little conflicted. It's part of my identity. It's been the thing that is taking care of my family. It's been the thing that has gained, much respect within my family when it comes to me. And to be quite honest, I didn't know how much of my identity was involved in it. However, good that I'm able to make it this long, learn something, not have any major incidents, and be in a situation where I can walk away in my right mind and without harm. So I'm thankful for God's blessing. It was it was one of my seasons, but looking forward to the next.
That was deep.
Yep. Dr. Nkumbe, welcome to the show,
Yeah.
man.
Hello. Thanks
We'll get you in there first, man. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
Somebody's
I
squeaking.
won't speak to the points of the stuff we already know about, modern day women, stuff like that. We can get to that, but I just want to cover a clinical perspective. And he named it the identity. So there's two parts to it. And I'm not speaking for every woman. The specific group of women that I'm talking about are first responders, wives of first responders. And that would include nurses, doctors, social workers, those who have daily vicarious trauma, military, or not just daily, weekly, mission per whatever, the vicarious trauma that they're taking in, it impacts their romantic and personal relationships. And a lot of wives want to get their husband back, but not understanding the trauma piece to it, thinking they can replace it by just having him home. So I'll work hard, we'll switch, he'll be home, and I'll go work. She sees it as a sacrifice worthy of keeping her husband. So there's the part where she's worried about his well-being, but then there's the unspoken part of why is she so worried about his well-being other than her husband, other than it being her husband. And those same women have consistently, those clients have consistently said they grew up in homes where they didn't have a father, or it started with a father and then they lost their father, or they actually watched grandpa or their father age and seemed to be a miserable man. Like he worked up until 65, 70, 75. And then 2 days later, after retirement, boom, he was gone. So her commitment is to her husband, is to the family, but also her internal commitment that she might not be speaking to because it's in her subconscious mind. And it becomes a very selfish move because she's doing it out of fear of losing him. So either the women, again, the clients, just the pocket of people that I talk to, they deal with abandonment issues, fear of loss, fear of rejection, and or they prefer the leadership of their husband, and they feel like if the job is going to wear him out or whatever, boom, let's switch. Last piece, what they don't prepare for is the other piece that comes with it. You know that famous saying, why do men usually say it's okay if I cheat, but not my woman because the woman is the receiver? Or I have a lot more experience with rejecting people. So you know that famous statement? Same thing. The women either don't know how to receive the type of energy, type of communications, the type of stress, all these different things. Not saying she's never worked, not saying she's never been in the world, but it lands differently when you're in a leadership role versus a dependent role. And the same way one would say, well, she doesn't know how to receive the attention and not have it be an emotional connection. They don't see that part. They don't understand. And the industries don't tell you that. They don't tell you that part. So then the wear and tear comes on his part when he's shifting in identity, similar to a person retiring, now not knowing what to do. And staying at home doesn't necessarily mean that he can't go to the gym, can't go for a walk, can't do this, can't do that. But it is a totally different sense of purpose. It goes against his DNA, like the biological part of it and the emotional part of it and the psychological part of it. And then on the back end of it, things usually fall apart because she didn't know how to manage the other pieces that came with it. He's not doing well. He feels internal death, and she feels like she messed up everything, at least for the clients that I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else want to go ahead and jump in there? Real quick, R-Pain, what are your thoughts about the video?
Yeah, listen, first of all, I heard what he said, and I'm just as a man, I think he's doing all of this for her. She's saying she's doing a lot of this stuff for him. Essentially, he's acquiescing to her wishes. Now, maybe if he wasn't a cop and the inherent danger there, if he was doing something else, I think he would say, listen, you can go ahead and get as rich as you want. I'm keeping my job. But he likes basketball. I know that. I read that much about him. So he's coaching teams. He's doing things. If that was part of his dream, he has a freedom to. I don't know what he's doing to make any kind of money, which it might be insignificant. But he said something critical there. Part of his identity was being a man, doing something, taking care of the family. It's not for her to take that away from him, and it's not for her to broadcast that shit. So he's going along with all of that stuff for her. Period. And he just looked uncomfortable even talking about it. Now, it's honorable what she's trying to do, but just like every kind of woman, and I'm gonna sound negative against her, but you could tell it's her selfish nature for her to be able to broadcast all that. and he's giving her her bennies to let her do that. But I don't think he's comfortable with her saying all that stuff on the air at all. But he's just a good guy. He said, "Hey, my life is probably going to be better, so I'm going to let her have this." And but it is what it is. But I don't consider him the outlier based on the general question that you started out with.
Everybody else, you could just jump in. Everybody, whoever wants to go next.
I disagree. How is this turned into a negative?
I disagree. Yeah, I disagree with him.
I'm a little bit confused here. I don't know how this turned into a negative. I mean, I think Tabitha is built differently. I think she's one of the very rare women in this world that actually means what she says when she said probably her marriage vows. She meant it, and she's showing it. And she sacrificed. He sacrificed. Isn't this what it's about? I mean, you guys are married. Isn't this what it's about? Isn't this how this is supposed to work? Is that you're supposed to work as a unit? He gave up 15 years. He did what he needed to do to keep the checks coming in while she chased her dream. And then when she started to make millions and millions of dollars, she did what she was supposed to. She kept up her end of the bargain, because most women, when they make that kind of money, would have checked out and ran away. So, I mean, I don't understand how this became negative. I actually have a lot of respect for her for the fact that she kept her word in a time where most women can't keep their word. They can't be honest and be faithful and be true to the vows that they take, not only to the person that they marry, but to God.
Trey, can I just ask, let's keep it positive. I mean, along that line, do you think there's a difference in how she presented to him?
I almost definitely believe that because they're married and they probably been married for so long, that they have that comfort level where she did present it differently to him. Like I said, before you guys came in, I was in a position where a woman was making almost $200,000 and she offered me an opportunity to be a stay-at-home dad, but it's the way she said it. Excuse me, not a stay-at-home dad, but a stay-at-home boyfriend, husband. Just the way she said it. It was emasculating, just the way she came off with it. I could imagine that Tabitha didn't, with the comfort level they have in their marriage, I would imagine she didn't come at him the way that this woman came at me. And they actually had an adult married conversation about, hey, look, you've done X, Y, and Z for the family for this long. Things are going well now for us. If you don't want to, I'm sure she probably gave him the option. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And like she said it took him a year to make a decision, right? So, I mean, I'm sure he molded over. Listen, it wasn't easy for me to leave the department. It wasn't something I just was up and ready to do, because he's right. It does become a part of your identity. It becomes a part of who you are as a person. And it took me almost 2.5 years to say, all right, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I would imagine that they had a conversation that was productive and effective, and he made a decision that he's going to be able to do it. But I just think in this day and age, man, if you get a woman who's built like how Tabitha's built, and she's willing to keep her word, and she didn't run away, I think that's to be commended.
I agree with Trey. I agree with Trey. I don't see this as a negative at all. He had the choice as to whether or not he wanted to stay home. He chose that way. Now, I see this as a woman honoring her husband. Being a police officer is a dangerous job. Being a soldier is a dangerous job. She didn't want her husband out there in the street night after night, running the risk of getting gunned down or in a traffic collision or in something else crazy. So she hustled. She put the work in to get her dream going, and it paid off with millions of dollars. So now they, not her, they can afford for her husband to go and explore other things. He was doing the police officer's job out of necessity. She said herself, he's got good benefits, got a good pension, it's got a good salary, this, that, and the other. He's doing it to take care of his family. Now that she's making money, first of all, she ain't really the one making the money. They're making the money. What's hers is his. What's his is hers. She felt that sacrifice too. He's out night after night, putting his life is in danger night after night. She feels that too. Okay? It ain't just him out there by himself. His wife's with him. Because let him not come home. How's she gonna feel then? So yeah, she feels it too. This whole thing, I think a lot of us get real strict on gender roles. Now I'm with Hank. I can't sit at the house and do nothing. Being a house husband, whatever. I can't. I gotta find something to do. I'm gonna go get me a job. I'm gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? That's just that, but that's just me personally. If it came down to that, if we can afford for where both of us don't have to work, Because the way I'm looking at it is, okay, she's making millions today. What happens if something go bad with our investments? What happens when she doesn't have that job anymore? You know what I'm saying? How long is that going to last? We don't know. So first things first, get out of debt. Whatever house we're going to have, pay that off. The whole 9 yards. You know, we can go through all that, but I'm thinking of security first. It's just the way I'm built, just the way my mind works. But I don't see this as a negative. I salute her. She's honoring her husband. There are so few women out there who do this. She, like Trey said, she remembered her vows and she's living by them.
Right.
And what they did was a plan. It was a plan.
Exactly. It was a plan. Exactly. Yeah.
And it was and so when she was saying remember, she was saying to retire him, not to have him as a stay-at-home husband or something like that. One of the things is that the lifestyle that they have right now, one of the things that she pointed out was that he can dream now. He can actually go out and tackle what he really wants to do. And I do follow them. My girl, she follows them a lot. And knowing what they do, they're out to shine a light on how they the process of their relationship, so they can help other people's based off of when they talk about the history of their relationship, how they got together, you know, how the struggles were when it came down to what, you know, when they got counseling and all these different things. So they talked about this, and I think he had officially that video is probably 2 years old, I think, a year and a half, 2 years old or something like that, because they're doing very well right now. Like Black Man pointed out, she has an acting career right now. She also has a lot of cookbooks and
cookbooks, seasoning. Damn, she got Food Network gave her a multi-million-dollar deal. She got a multi-million-dollar book deal. She got, I mean, she's getting the money from everywhere.
Right.
So I can just imagine. So you can just imagine. Oh, go ahead.
I was being funny. I said, is she doing kissing scenes with all that acting? But I want to ask though, JT and Mr. Bennett and Mandrell, do you think the timing also helped? Meaning, remember, it was a 5-year plan. It ended up being 15 years, which gave
not necessarily.
No? Okay.
So the thing that I got out of that is when he was saying, and this is a point that I made earlier before you guys came on. I think certainly men, we live by purpose. Again, we have to have a reason to get up every day and be productive in the world. And her aim was not to have him, as JT said, just to sit home and do nothing. It's like now he can do the things that really give him fulfillment. If that's coaching, if that's working with kids or whatever, now he can do that sort of thing. But one thing that he said was, and this is dangerous, I think is dangerous for us, is that he said that a part of his identity was tied to the job. I don't think a man's identity, we're talking about being masculine. I don't think your masculine should not be tied to any particular situation, not your job. How many times have we seen former athletes when you retire and then even though you got millions in the bank, you got, you know, you don't have to worry about working anymore, but these guys are miserable. They get fat, they get whatever, they just get because they have no reason to get up in the morning. So again, your purpose as a man should never be tied to your career, nor your station in life. If he couldn't work, what if he was disabled? What if he's, you know, or something where he couldn't work? He was, you know, he had a disability, he had PTSD from the military. What if he couldn't have a job? Should he feel no less than a man because he's not doing what other guys are doing? So I think our sense of masculinity is something that has to come from with us. If you're a spiritual man, your masculinity, your identity comes from God. It doesn't come from your job. But do you have a purpose? Even if he was wheelchair bound, his mind, his wisdom, you know, what he gives to his kids, he can still be an influential and powerful person in the world, not necessarily even tied to his physical abilities. So I think but when he said that, that told me right there that career, that putting on that uniform, whatever, gave him his identity. But you should never, in any profession, your identity should never be tied to a job.
Well, I think that'd be a whole show, because if he was in the wheelchair, he would be going through a grieving stage. Who knows how long it would take before he can actually function in that wheelchair? And even if it's given from God, God is saying, go do something. Go do something. And so
I agree.
Somehow that purpose has to come out.
But you've seen a lot of times when people retire. Again, why it's so dangerous when a man retires or can't do what they used to. Again, if you're an athlete, you're a football player, you get a knee injury, your career is done.
Right.
What do you do with that? It's a grieving time, but you still have to get up. You still have to go through the process.
We'll get Martin Mandrell, then R. Payne. But before you two go, even I was just about to say it, and Edwards put it in the chat. Even Tom Brady was willing to lose his wife and children because he couldn't sit around, bro. Tom Brady was sitting at that house during retirement, like, shit, I can't do this. And it damn near drove him insane. He said, listen, I'm coming back. And I guarantee you, he's struggling right now. For 20 years, you've been getting up, going to training camp, running, working out, throwing fucking passes, winning 7 Super Bowls. Got your boys around you. Then you go home and your kids are like, daddy. And then they're going to school. Your wife's got modeling. I mean, what are you going to do with yourself? They just offered him a 10-year, $320 million contract to do
the TV,
to be an analyst on Fox. Yeah, to be on Fox. But I mean, but anyway, go ahead, Mandrell. Then R. Payne right behind Mandrell. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can kind of speak on this. I mean, because a couple of you might know what I used to do in the Army, and you really don't have a choice. That does become a part of your identity when you're in that part of the Army.
Mm-hmm.
It is who you are. Period. It's a part of who you are as a person, as a living creature. It becomes a part of who you are.
And may I ask, was it you that connected with the job, or would you say the job made you? Does that make sense? Like,
no, I think I follow, but it's just.
I was just asking because some people are teachers because they always were meant to teach. Some people were blah 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 blah. So I was just wondering if you felt that the job made you, which I think is what Mr. Bennett is saying, versus that you felt
it's not so much
to do that job.
It was not so much that the job made me. It just I found I was going. Say you're going through it, right? You go through the training, and you're like Jesus. You say you go through selection, you make it. You're like, damn, I made it. I got selected. I got, what I'm saying? I made it through all that, and I got selected. And then it brings out a lot that's already in there that you never would have imagined was there. And so that's number one. Number two, you find out your strong points. You know what I'm saying? When you find out that a big reason why I was even selected in the first place was because of my skills in deductive reasoning. They were just that high. You know what I'm saying? I've always been good at connecting dots, always been good at stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. But I didn't know it was at that level. Like, they were actually impressed. And then you find out just how impressive you are because people are telling you, listen, man, look, no, you understand, even at this level, no one does it like that. You know what I mean? So people are telling you how good you are. To you, you don't know it's hard. You don't know that you're in the upper 90 percentile, even of that sector of the Army. You don't know it's hard. It's your first time doing it. You know what I mean? You're just doing a job, or you're just doing what you're supposed to do. So, but then when you realize that, you're like, Jesus, okay. And you realize that you're actually not only skilled, but talented at it. And then you can make a difference in somebody's life, an actual real difference in a positive way in people's lives.
So may I ask you this so you can answer this part too, please?
Yeah.
And I can't speak for Mr. Bennett, but I'm wondering if they're the same thing. So I feel a sense of purpose through this particular task. My awareness, like, wow, holy buckets, I'm that shit. I can do this job. I can do it, and I will do it. So there's pride, ego, all that's like positive, very positive. But if you had lost that opportunity after that awareness was there,
I'm getting there, but I'm getting there, Doc.
Okay.
You're a little ahead.
All right, my bad.
In fact, I'm right there. So all of a sudden, you get banged up. Bad. You get through stuff that you're not supposed to be here from. And then you get the idea that, shit, I think I'm on borrowed time. Even sitting here now, I think I'm on borrowed time already. You know what I'm saying? I really do. Like, nobody walks away from that shit. I'm not a mutant. I'm not a superhero, not invincible. But here I am. But my point is, once you take an injury or a cumulative enough of injuries that to where it's like, okay, you can't keep up anymore the way you used to. The doctor says you have to have surgery. I'm like, This is an army doctor. I ain't gonna let him cut on me. So, I mean, when you find out that, okay, you cannot do this job anymore because of these injuries. One day you're on the Super Bowl team and all of a sudden it's snatched away. 1 second you're on the Super Bowl team, Dr. Nakembe, of the Armed Forces, and in a whisper, it's gone. Gone. This is somebody else's dream. It wasn't my dream. I was just trying out to see if I could do it. It was an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Initially, that's why I did. I said, oh, that'd be cool to do. I mean, what happens if we don't make it? You can sit back here and tell me, oh, so I don't lose anything just by trying out? No. Oh, why not? I'm here. That was my thing. You know, I didn't know I was going to make it. I thought I was going to come back with a story like, hey, guys, I tried out for it. I didn't make it because it was really hard and blah, blah, blah. I thought that was going to be my story. I didn't know it was going to turn into what it did. So this is somebody else's dream. Some people dream of doing that. Something that came natural to me. So I started appreciating it. And I got really fucking good at it. To put it modestly. Really fucking good at it. And I was like, okay, this is it took 6 years. But I finally said, okay, you know what? This is my gig. This is what I'm going to do for a living. 2.5 weeks later, no, you're not. I'm the elite of the elite. And in a whisper, gone. Just that quick. That's not easy to reconcile with. That's not easy to handle. You know what I'm saying? Now, and so now the question comes, now what I do? I put everything into this. What else I got?
Right.
Well, you have a degree.
What Mr. Bennett was saying.
Right. And now here's the answer to that. This is when I discovered this whole thing about people have a purpose. This is why I disagree with people and say, well, God has a purpose for your life. I'm like, yeah, not all of us, though. Yes, they're all of us. No, not all of us. Why would you say that? Because I came to this answer. We create our own purpose in life. You have to figure out what yours is, though. It ain't set in stone. Not for everybody. In fact, I think there's a very minute number of people who actually have a direct purpose that comes from, comes from heaven. You know what I'm saying? Very minute, very infinitesimally small number of people. And for those lucky few, and they get a chance to do it, good luck and Godspeed, because they could have that, they could know that they have that's the purpose that comes from heaven, that heaven has for them, and they'll still not choose to do it. You still have to choose to do that. That's where free will comes in. But for most of us, we create our own purpose in life. And for me, Mr. Ben, I think you've heard me say this before. My sister and I were born lucky. We have the ability to literally do whatever we want to do. We're capable of doing whatever it is we want to do in life. We're lucky like that. And so it took me a while. Even that's difficult to reconcile. You have to figure something else out. Because you didn't, like athletes, they didn't take their money and invest it, make smart investments. They didn't do a lot of things that they were supposed to do to ensure that if this day ever comes when they got hurt, they wouldn't be in financial trouble. You know what I'm saying? So because they didn't prepare, and what do you do next? The answer to what do you do next is whatever you want. But you have to reconcile with what you lost first. So I can recommend the first thing you do when you get out is therapy. That's the first thing you do. I recommend that for any athletes out there retiring who might be watching this, any soldiers getting out of the military for any reason whatsoever. First things first, sit on somebody's couch. You need to deal with that before it deals, because you don't deal with it, it's going to deal with you. And you're not going to have a choice in that. And it's not going to play nice either.
So R-Pain. So R-Pain want to jump in there.
Okay, go ahead.
Real quick. R-Pain, let me get what you got, and then and see what you have to say. Then I have a female, from a female's perspective. Y'all all know her. She's gonna come in and drop some diamonds, and then she got to go take care of her hubby. But R-Pain, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, just real quick. One of the things when people say that God has a purpose for people, let's just say if you're a non-secular person, let's just say that's true. The problem is most people don't recognize it. Most people don't recognize the gifts that they're given, and that's the issue. But let's just get back to this guy. I'm only going by what he said and how his body language said about how he was tied to his job. It wasn't his job. It was the purpose that his job was satisfying. I'm thinking that if he was anything else that wasn't as dangerous, he might not have left in just 15 years, no matter how much money his wife was making. I'm looking at his body language, right? And so most men get tied to their jobs because that's what they do. It's not necessary. They make a mistake when they say that the job is who they are, but the job in a family man's, from a family man's perspective, satisfies a goal. And even if the job is a good one or a bad one, you stick in it because that's what you need to take care of your family, right? So you have to identify with what you're doing just to survive. So I mean, we could put our own, religious tact on a man should never be his job and all this kind of stuff. But reality is reality. If you got to work something for 30 years to feed your family, you're going to get tied to that damn thing. And it's going to be part of your identity if you want to do it well. That's just the nature of things. I mean, I worked for the Department of Defense for 38 years, right? And I got in on a humbug, believe it or not. It was when Reagan was putting money into the defense thing. But now that I'm finished, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I did it because my job became making sure soldiers got home alive with the weapons we gave them. So I wasn't a big military guy. It had nothing to do with politics. But if I was going to work for the Department of Defense, I wanted to make sure, regardless of politics, our soldiers came home safe and we gave them weapons that worked. First time, every time.
Did you?
Whether they did it or not in practice, did I think that way?
Because I got some experiences. I got some stories to tell you, brother.
I really do. I didn't say it was a whole reality. That's what my purpose was. That was my purpose. I know there was some bad stuff out there. Right. So, but anyway, that's it. I mean, I'm just saying. Back to the guy, and I'm gonna land it here. I think his hesitation was that, and that's why it took him a year to quit, because he was tied to his purpose. And that job satisfied his purpose. And it was not that easy to give that up and find something new. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to be negative against her, but I think he could have done without all of that stuff on TV. That's what I think. I'm landing it there.
All right. Thank you so much.
Do you think maybe it was a betrayal?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Sir, do you think maybe it was betrayal? Like he felt betrayal? Not that it was intentional, but to his job, the people, the men, and subconscious betrayal to himself for no longer having that gig.
No, betrayal is not the right word. No,
okay. Cool. Just
all right. Take Heed is in the building. Now, Take Heed, I want to ask you from a woman's perspective. That's why I got you here, because I know it's going to get to a point you're going to take them glasses off, and that's when they get real. So I want to ask you from a woman's perspective. Stay-at-home dads. It's growing in our society. Do you think it's emasculating? If you were to get a job, Take Heed, and you start making double or triple what your husband makes, is it emasculating to him for you to go to him and say, baby, you don't have to work. You can be a stay-at-home dad. And I'll take care of all the bills and the responsibilities of the home, and you take care of the children. What are your thoughts on that? I really want a woman's perspective on this matter. You're muted.
I'm about to lose my following right now. For me even making a comment on this right here. Hello, gentlemen. How are you? How all of y'all doing tonight? Thank you for inviting me. I really think that should not happen. I know that we in a new day and age that it's okay for it to happen, but I don't think it should, because I'm going to say
what exactly shouldn't happen.
I don't think that a man should not work. Like if his wife is making double, right? She's making good money. She's bringing in, good money into the household, right? And then he stopped working and he's taking care of the children. I'm going to tell you why I say this, because every woman can contest to this. She will treat him like a child. She's going to treat him like a child. And if any woman say that they're not going to do that, they're lying. Because we're like that. If our men go out of work for like 2 months, 2 or 3 months, right? Every time she come in the house, she gonna have just that mad face on. Like, why you relaxing? Why you just relaxing on a chair?
I just played
you ain't doing nothing. Because we get like that. And I don't know why, but it's every woman. We get like that.
Why are you comfortable?
You know what I'm saying? We get indignant with our men. We act like they are nobody when they not working. Okay? So for a man to
like that when we're working too.
Yeah, of course now. Of course.
And
now.
we make it 3 times more than you. You still act like you still
Hey,
treat
and
us
let
like
me tell you, but it's worse when you ain't making no money. When you
I
ain't
can
bringing nothing
imagine.
in, baby, she will call you every name in a book, honey. She will have all type of smoke waiting for you. Okay.
Take heed. May I ask, do you think though it depends on his attitude? I mean, if he was, really big, can just get up on his elbows to eat, and she's coming home and he's just there snacking, that's one thing. But if he has that sharp mentality and still leading his home and relationship, do you think that would play a difference?
I'm gonna tell you something, Doc. She not gonna let him lead the home. She not. I'm sorry. That's how we are. She's not gonna let him lead the home. She gonna quickly tell him, I am the breadwinner in here. You can't do nothing without me. You understand? That's how we are. And it's sad to say that that's how we are. We just have that you ain't nothing type attitude when you not working. Now I'm gonna tell you something. It's different in many cases because sometimes you will have a woman, right? Who, okay, they've been married 20-something years. Okay, let me give you a prime example. And I love this woman so much. She's Tabitha. I love her. I love her content. Her husband is amazing. Okay. Tabitha took her husband and just retired him. But I'm going to tell you why she retired him. And because he was everything when she was trying to get big, when she was trying to get famous. He was telling her, baby, I'm going to do the police thing. We going to move out. We going to move to LA, and I'm going to keep helping you until you make it big. That's what he told her. This is what's going to happen. So she pursued her dreams. And then when she became a multi-millionaire, right? She was like, baby, you don't have to work no more. That's only how you will get grace. This is only how a man can get grace. If he worked with her till she became famous, then she will continue to follow under him because she's going to remember how he sacrificed. You see, Tabitha, she's still in line with this man. You can even see how the way she talked to him on her show, everything. She's still in line with this man because she know how good he treated her, how good he was there, and how he took care of the family. But when a man decide that, like, okay, just a regular woman, just a regular Joe, she becomes a lawyer for a hospital, and she making really good money, nasty money. You hear me? And then she tell her husband, okay, you gonna watch the children because I got a full time and I'm never gonna be home. You know what I'm saying? So I need you to watch the children. And now the husband, they done switch roles. So now the husband is home with the kids. Let me tell you something. This woman will be cheating. She will be doing all types of foolery. I'm telling you, she will turn into a man. And I'm not saying y'all, I'm not saying all of y'all is like that, but she will turn into a beast and say, and then when he catch her, she gonna quickly tell him, I'm the breadwinner. I do what it do. You're not gonna tell me what to do. And I feel, and I mean this with my whole heart. This is what will happen.
Yeah, here's the thing. You're right.
Hold on, man, Jeff. Before you say that, I want to add something to what she said. Then you can cook.
Go ahead.
Monique just did a stand-up. I don't know if y'all watched it, right? Because I watched this stuff for these type of moments. Monique said in her stand-up about her husband She said she would come home from the studio when she was doing the Parkers. And she said she would come home and she said she'll walk in the room all masculine. And she said she'll tell her husband, come over here and oral sex now. And he'd be like, I don't want to do that. She said, oh no, you're going to do it. She said, because I pay the bills in here. This is my house. Without me, you have nothing. And you're going to sit here and disrespect me when I ask you for this sexual favor and you telling me no? She said she manned him up every day. The dude she married to right now. She said she would come home every day and he'll go watch this, go do that. You have my bags ready in the morning. She said she would go watch her stand up. She told the entire story how she just drug her husband for years. And she said one day her husband said, okay, baby, I'll do it for you. And she said she laid on the bed. He started to play with her with his hand or whatever. And he said after he did that, he took his hand and rubbed it in her face. And she was like, oh my God, what you dip your hand in this stinking shit in my face? He said, baby, that's you. You're acting masculine, but your hygiene ain't even right. He said, you stink. You go do all this work for all these people at the studio. You come home, want me to eat that? You stink. And I just rubbed it in your face so you can smell what I smell when you come home demanding me to put my mouth on it. She said at that moment, she went to sat on somebody's couch and she became the wife she is today. Because she had to get rid of that masculinity. That masculine role. And then she said she was never taught as a little girl, how to take care of her hygiene. So she was not properly even cleaning herself. So she said she neglected doing what a woman's supposed to do, and she was acting like a man. See what I'm saying? So, and she retired her husband, but look how she treated him. So, I mean, but Mandra, you can go ahead and then we get Hinkin after that. Oh, Takey, you want to respond or something?
I wanted to say this real quick and just to touch on it. When me and my husband when our first couple of years of marriage, right? I made more than my husband. Okay. I made more than him. And I remember he said to me one time, he said, we got into a heated argument. And he said to me, there will never be two kings in a castle. I don't care what you make. There will never be two kings in a castle. There's only one king that resides in this castle. I married you. You didn't marry me. And I looked at him. I said, wait a minute. He said, no. I couldn't. No, I don't take my glasses off with my husband. I said, wait a minute. He said, no, because you doing something. And I done already told you that this is how I want my family ran. And I remember that day my husband many times my husband had put me in line, but this day I had to take back. I was like, wait a minute. I'm acting like my mother. Because my mother, I always talk about alpha females, masculine females, right? So I get that from my mother and my mother family. So the way they deal with their husbands, I was trying to do that to mine. But mine came from a two-parent home where he saw what the mother do and what the father do. And my husband wasn't having none of that. He was ready for all type of smoke I was giving him. He was ready. I got to commend him for that. I keep telling him that every day. I commend you for that because you stayed and you was like, I'm going to fix this because I don't want my family to be like this. That's why I tell women, you got to fall in line. You are not the head. You know what I'm saying? There cannot be two heads in a kingdom. But in our culture, we believe that that's okay because we seen our mama do it. We seen grandma do it. And it's not right. And I had to be checked on that years ago. Baby, I love my role. I stay in my role. I don't go outside my lane. I don't do no foolery. I don't do no nonsense. My husband tell me, I want you to do that. Baby, I back up. I sit down and I be quiet. That's exactly what I do. So, just to touch on it, We women, we like that. If you give us some power, there's going to be some problems, and you're going to have some problems. So I don't suggest any man do that. I don't care where you work, McDonald's, Burger King, I don't care where you work, long as you work. That's it. That's my take on it.
Chafee, can I just ask one more question?
Can I ask a question?
Is that a permission giver though, knowing that if I'll bust you in the head and kick you in the, I'm not saying you say that, but this is like a permission giver. Like, if you give me some power, why can't she, come across a couple $1 million and still do her role without needing that to assert herself?
She won't. I know what you're trying to say, Doc, but
it was unnatural. It sounds like you're saying it's unnatural for her to not do it.
She's not gonna do it. She's gonna give smoke. And it'll be rare. If she does it, it'll be rare like Tabitha. It'll be so rare like Tabitha. And Tabitha is a rare gem. You know what I'm saying? She's very rare. So women that's not what they do. If you do that, if you give up your role as king, she's going to take it and she's going to run with it. And she's going to treat you like the subject you are. She's not going to treat you like the king that you are. She's gonna deal with you. That's how we are. That's just my take on it. If another woman can say that we won't do that, I like her to show me some proof.
Right. No, it makes sense. Just before you came on, I was sharing with the panel that the flip side of it, and I think Sheree, I don't think Sheree just said it in the chat. The flip side of it is the women don't prepare themselves for the power that comes with it, for the influence, for the struggles, and that goes to their head and it changes things. So the flip side of it, they don't prepare for that, and that's what usually makes it crash, because they didn't know the stimuli would be different, and they'll act a fool. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm every time I get a little bit forward on this marriage thing, one of these panels tends to send me back. Yeah, it keeps sending me back 10 steps because I am beyond confused right now. I don't understand. And what I see in Tabitha is what I would believe be exactly what a marriage is supposed to be. Right? If that's how it's supposed to look. It's supposed to look something along the lines of you've made these vows to each other, you made this commitment to each other, you made this covenant before God to work well with each other, and then she got put on, and she took care of her husband. That's what she's supposed to do. But yet it also seems as though that this is a money thing. That this is about money. And if we're talking business, well then I can emphatically
there's
say
another term for that.
It's a bad decision. If we talk
there's another term for
business, if we're talking straight business, then marriage is a horrible decision. So I'm a little bit confused. Is this about the actual covenant with God? Is this actually about the vows that you make with your partner and with, like, what is this about? Because to me, what she's doing is exactly what I would want from, if I ever got married, what I would want for my wife to do. If my wife got put on and she started making millions of dollars, that would be the expectation. I'm not making millions of dollars. So if she's making millions of dollars, that would be the expectation. And I don't see how I lose leadership. I don't see how I lose anything in our marriage just because she's making millions of dollars if it's not about the money and it's actually about the covenant with God. I'm confused.
I'm gonna say this to you real quick. Only why her situation is the way it is because, I'm sorry, is my mic okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Only why the situation with Tabitha is the way it is because her husband set the foundation. You see what I'm saying? He set the foundation for her to make it the way she is today. Well, he sacrificed for the family. That when she tells her story, she talks about how he moved them, how he started working for LAPD for such an amount of years, I think 15 or something years. And she was telling him, baby, just give me 5 years. But 5 years led into 15 years. And because he was so with her on it, you know what I'm saying? That they were a team from the beginning. This is how it played out so easily and how she stayed in line. But when this happens, say, okay, you've been married 3 years, right? And y'all both just been working, but all of a sudden your wife makes it big. That's not enough time. That's not enough time. She's going to degrade you. She's going to treat you like foolery. She's gonna be nasty to you because she's gonna get with her girlfriends and they're gonna be telling her, oh, you the man of the house. You do everything. Why every time he needs something, he gotta come to you? And she's gonna feed in on that because that's what we women do. We get around foolish women, other women that are foolish, and now we taking information from them. And so now you go home and take it to your husband and you start telling him foolery.
Well,
I know that it's a covenant with God, I know, but I don't know. Us women, we a different type of breed. If you get a certain woman that's on your side, that she's a ride to die, I hate to say it like that, but when she's like that, then you have struck gold. But if you don't get a woman like that, that will be with you, that will understand you, that will be obedient to you, you in trouble. You in trouble because the day that you fall from your job, you fall from grace, she's going to dismiss you.
So
Is that the collaboration that you're talking
are you
about,
telling
Trey?
me that if wow, okay.
Is
So
that
if
what
you're
you're talking
telling
about,
me
though, Trey?
if you're telling
Collaboration and
are you telling me
partnership?
that in this particular situation, it's almost to my benefit to almost and I'm going to use, for lack of better words, almost in a way to oppress her, to not let her make this money?
No.
Is that what I'm hearing?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we women, we have a certain type of way how we deal with our men. That if you're not doing what you're, and I know this hurt to hear this, but it's true. It's true. We have a way of dealing with our men when they can't bring in money. And if we're the ones that's bringing in the money and we're the ones that's paying for everything, we quickly start mistreating you. We
But
quickly tell you that you ain't nothing, that I'm taking care of everything. You know what I'm saying? She may not. Now you get some women who they understand the assignment, they will help. Even on my channel, I tell women, just because now he been taking care of you all this while and he lost his job and now you want to do some foolery. You better rethink that thing because he's going to get a job again. He's gonna succeed again. So you have to rethink that thing. I always tell women, yeah, we have to get out of that stigma of how our mama and grandma did our grandpa and fathers. You know,
can I just jump in real quick? And Mandra, I saw you were gonna jump in, but you got something in your mouth. So take heat. I think what Trey is saying is no. I think what he's saying is the collaboration and partnership is an awesome thing, right?
Right.
Here's just a clinical
man,
thing.
Darrell like shit in his mouth.
No. Come on now. Oh, come on. Let's not mess up a good show. Come on. Here's a clinical perspective.
Okay.
This statement is not clinical. People with money. What is, you guys know that statement about people's money doesn't change people? Like money
shows who
only
you are.
brings out your true
It reveals
character,
who you are.
like that.
It just reveals who you are.
Right. So if she or he, but if whoever is the person with the money, so if she gets this money and loses her mind, most people who are nice, at their core, they're really not that nice. And this is another whole conversation. And I don't want to debate about, are you saying nice people are mean? What I'm saying is some people turn into honey so they can attract. All right. Sure. But once they have what it is that they wanted or needed or feel fulfilled, their true self comes out. And so if she wanted power, control, and it built up her confidence and is all perceived by this money, and then she starts to look down on him because he's no longer needed. Mm-hmm. But if they build a foundation to understand why they need each other, why they want each other, and if she doesn't have that buy-in, then she's in the wrong relationship. Take your millions and bye-bye. Good luck. Is that bag going to be big enough? You have enough to buy 2 more. So just wanted to add that piece that she has control, but if her core comes from needing that power, then she will roll over him. But if her core comes from foundation, family, and knowing my role and how I can support, then she shouldn't get into foolery.
Doc, I love what you said. I love what you said because I'm gonna tell you something. You are correct. If she loves this man and she wants to do the right thing and she respects her husband before she got the millions, she's gonna continue. You are correct. But then there's a but. Sometimes she lets her friends influence her. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that happens. That's why you have these girl trips that be going crazy on the internet because somebody talked you into going out of the country with them and then told you, oh, your man ain't gonna find out if you slept with this guy. Then all of a sudden you see all this stuff all over the internet. She half naked dancing with somebody on the beach. You know what I'm saying? Girlfriends have a lot to play into situations with women that's in a good marriage, in a good relationship. Because and like I tell people on my channel, the women on my channel, we women know when you got good men. We know that. We know that. So if we secretly hate that, we're gonna give you bad advice to destroy your marriage and your relationships. And it's sad. It's sad, but we do that. Women do that. I had a girlfriend years ago. She had told me, I had told her something that happened in my marriage, right? And it broke my heart. And I was crying to her. You know what she told me? Do the same thing he did to you. I said, what? She said, yeah. And you know what I did? I just left. I left her house. And I said, I will no longer be this girlfriend. Because, and I was friends with her 22 years.
Damn.
And I said, no, I can't do that. And I'm gonna tell you something. I had a girlfriend and she was married like over 20 something years. And something happened with her and her husband. And she came to me and asked me for advice. And I told her, baby, you need to pray about it. You need to pray about it. Talk to God about it. Don't destroy your family because some and I always call mistresses, I call them visitors. Because you got a visitor in your home, honey. Clean your home out. Clean your home out. Change how you treating your husband. Sometimes most of that stuff fall on us, but we don't want to take accountability for it. You know what I'm saying? So I told her that. I told her, how will you let someone come into your kingdom and take your king from you? That doesn't make sense. He married you. He gave you that ring for a reason. So you don't just give up your kingdom because a visitor came. And even the woman had the nerve to ask her, you ain't leave him yet? And I asked her, well, what did you say to her? She said, I'm not leaving my kingdom for you. You see? And it's sad though, but that's how we are. Truthfully, I'm gonna tell you something. Somebody asked me one time, would you marry yourself? I said, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I don't even know how my husband put up with me half of the time. No, I wouldn't. That's just my take on it.
Can I ask this one question before I get off?
Yeah, go ahead, Troy.
Try to save me here because I'm out in the deep end right now. For everybody that's married, the fellas that's married on the panel right now, if your wife came into millions of dollars, whether it be by invention or she got on a TV show or whatever the case may be, she came into millions of dollars, do you think she would leave you?
No.
No, mine wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't.
All right, thanks. I needed to hear that because this
and the reason
this is sounding wild to me.
Yeah, let me add some context to that. What take heed to the message is saying that you have a large group of women. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you what happened. This guy played a prank on his wife. I don't know if y'all heard this or not, but this guy played a prank on his wife, and he put the fake lottery numbers in a fake ticket and let her hear the lottery numbers. And she bought the ticket. So she checked the lottery numbers and found out that they won. Right? It was fake. He set it up, but he found like she won. She didn't cheer. She didn't jump up and down or nothing. She walked in the room. She said, I'm going over my mom's house. He said, okay, cool. He said he was on the computer. She had already that day while he was at work packed her bags in the car. She went to her mom's house, picked her mom up, and drove out to cash in the $1 million lottery ticket. When she got there, they told her the ticket was fake. And she came back home because he had like he didn't know. She came back home after she found out it was fake. And he said, where you been? And she told him, you're an asshole. Why would you lie about this? Why would you do a fake lottery ticket on me? He said, hell, why would you leave me and not tell me we won? And he said he divorced her because he knew then that she wasn't a woman that he could stay with. Now,
is this story supposed to be helping me, black man?
No.
I'm
We're trying to come. We're trying to hold on.
I'm getting to the point.
Trey, don't leave.
Trey, I'm getting to the point.
Trey, like I'm done.
Okay,
go back, Trey.
I'm getting to the point, Trey. Hold on, my brother. I got you, my little bro. What I'm saying is there's a majority of women out there that will do this for sure. But then you have some really good women like Tabitha, bro.
Yes.
That will get her money and say, you know what, baby? We're going to be business partners, right? You used to be a police officer. Okay, now you my police officer. Now, when we go places, you're here to protect me. You already have the training. I don't need to hire no security. You my husband. We in this together. We business partners. We making this money together. And if she's talking that togetherness, oh, we're wonderful, Trey. That's a wonderful woman to have that come into some money. But if you get into the woman like he's talking about, like a bunch of women out here, give them $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, they'll be like, hey, baby, I'll be right back. You know?
So obviously, what we're really saying here is that this foundation is incredibly important.
Yes,
absolutely. It's incessantly important to make sure that this thing is built on the right thing.
Absolutely.
Hey, let me say something, man.
Go ahead, Hank. Did we get our pain?
Y'all giving this heifer way too much goddamn credit, man. I don't believe a goddamn thing she's saying. First of all, if you are gonna retire your goddamn husband, why do you need to make a film about it? Why do you need to make it a public announcement? If you're real, I can't take you to be real. First of all, and she said I retired him. No, hell no. You was looking for some type of clout. That's what it looks like to me. So I can't take you serious. I retired him.
So Hank, you saying it's a flex?
Man, look, I don't believe it. I can't trust it.
Because the way you're describing it sounds like, hey, because I'm not saying you're wrong. What you're saying makes sense.
Words you say, like, I retired him. No.
Okay, so here's his body language, guys.
Why do you need to make it public, though? That's a hang up to me. I can't take you serious. Every good deed you do don't have to be known by everybody.
Right. Here's his body language. So let's look at it from this after she announced it and he came out. This is more. I didn't play the whole thing, but this is more of it. So let's dissect this. Here it is.
Lord, looking for a new chance.
Hey, very good.
Yeah.
My husband and I, we sat outside in our backyard last year, August 22nd, 2017. You can see all these things on here. And we made a list. This is my list. He had his list. And
figured out he got time. So anyway, let's talk to him real quick before he leaves. All right, babe.
All right, watch his body language, guys. Let's see what he does.
About to go down. 15 years. Come to this day.
Mm-hmm.
It's bittersweet.
Yeah. Bittersweet.
How you feeling?
A little conflicted. It's part of my identity. It's been the thing that is taking care of my family. It's been the thing that has gained, much respect within my family when it comes to me. And to be quite honest, I didn't know how much of my identity was involved in it. However, good that I'm able to make it this long, learn something, not have any major incidents, and be in a situation where I can walk away in my right mind and without harm. So I'm thankful for God's blessing. It was a part of it was one of my seasons, but looking forward to the next.
Yeah, time to start dreaming again, ain't it?
Yeah.
Does that change anybody else's mindset? Hank, what are your thoughts now?
Again, the guy that just said it because he was on camera. When he first started talking, he didn't want to look at the camera. He wouldn't even want to focus because
That's what Arpain. I think Arpain was saying that too.
She forced this man to do the video. He didn't really want to do this video. He didn't want to really make that public because it would make him look like a less of a man. And she doesn't care because she feel like it's a good day. Look what I did for my husband. She probably gonna go in a little girl circle, brag about the bullshit. Yeah, I retired my man. I know y'all seen the video. Y'all see what I'm out here doing. Y'all know what I'm doing out here. I'm in these streets like that. I'm getting money. What the hell with that heifer? I can't believe it. I can't trust it. First of all, why are you putting it out there like it's that you did this? How about you move in silence? Baby, I'm glad we was able to accomplish our goal. Thank you, baby. I love you. And keep it moving. No, instead, you want to make it a public broadcast now. Why? Yeah, we know why. Because you now you got this man's nuts all the way in the purse. You probably only had one nut in the purse. Now she got both of them. Now you don't have no testicles, no goddamn more. You're going to do exactly what I say, and you better have my goddamn 2 sugar cookies and peanut butter and jelly sandwich at my shoot tomorrow. Yeah, you don't stand a goddamn chance, man.
One of the things I can honestly say is that most relationships don't make it in Hollywood. They don't. The majority of relationships at some point in Hollywood, it's devoured. Another thing is that Trey, he asks very good questions, because one of the things that I do know about a marriage, a relationship, is that you have to have the foundation, and that foundation has to be as solid as possible.
Yep.
The majority of people don't have solid foundations, because if they did, money would not be the factor. You know, being able to sustain a foundation with one another, it's way more important than us out here talking about who's the breadwinner. At the end of the day, we should be talking about, how am I supposed to follow you? How am I supposed to lead you? Because most people get married between the age of 24 and 34. Anything after that, I'm telling you, it's going to be more and more of a challenge.
It's tough, yeah. It's hard.
So one of the things I've observed, that successful marriages came from couples that had some great history. They can talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. They can talk about what they survived. They can also talk about how those times got them to being where they ultimately became. Like you guys already know, I always talk about my parents, 54 years they're coming up on. And, you know, when I look at how their roles have changed, because they're senior citizens now. But my father was always the leader. I remember the struggle him and my mama had at those times, because I always talk about this. I've seen my parents grow up. I've seen my parents at 27, 47, 57, 67, and now it's 73. And I've seen my mom be feisty towards my father, trying to listen to her girlfriends, and they got her in a whole lot of trouble. I've seen my father when he was out there trying to be out there in those streets, and he was growing up too, and he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. And I've seen them. One of the things I've never seen them do is fight in front of us. We probably heard a little arguing or something like that, but they were so in tune with how they wanted to get that relationship together. They never let us, or they tried not to let us see them when there was turmoil between them two. We already knew because the house wasn't moving the way it was supposed to. It was 4 people in my house, 4 kids in my house. And guess what we had to do? Make sure that house was running. That's what we had to do. We had chores. We had to make sure our homework was together. By the time I got in high school, my parents were doing homework and nothing like that. If I didn't do my homework, they're going to find out because of my grades. Because I'm not on the basketball team. Why? Because I didn't do well. I'm on probation. They didn't have to be running up in at our schools all the damn time because we was misbehaving and things like that. It was because they had a solid foundation with themselves, and they let us know how that house is going to be ran. They had money issues. They fought all kind of stuff. But by the time they got about 35, they kind of had it together. 45, you didn't really see them arguing and nothing like that. 55, I was their counselor. I was the counselor now. Your mama getting on my damn nerves now. Let me tell you, I'm about to leave her. My mama, I'm gonna divorce your daddy. I'm going. And we seeing it, and we look at both of them. We say, y'all ain't gonna do shit. Y'all gonna work it out just like y'all always worked it out. Because we seen the foundation. We seen the foundation. And like I said in the last one of our shows, you'll be lucky if you can lose your loved one. Until death do you part is what you said.
JT, can I just respond about the foundation piece? And I hope this puts it in perspective.
Yes.
This particular person lost her power of choice at age 14 when she was brutally, sexually
assaulted.
She lost her power of choice and voice. Look at her social media. It's all about uplifting. It's all about empowerment. It's all about support. You better believe she's screaming at the mountaintops that she had a choice in helping her husband reach his dreams. The guy who believed in her, supported her, and did not let her down like the beast did when she was 14, 15 years old. So I just wanted to put that in perspective that yes, she's proud and loud about it.
All right,
so hold on, my brother was next over here. Who's next? Let's see. Oh yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. There was R-Pain was next. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, real quick. I mean, one of the things about foundation, it starts before you get engaged. There's a vetting and courting process that must go on in if you're going to have a long, if you want to have a long marriage, if you want it to last till death do you part. And there's some things you need to, and if you have both feet in the secular and non-secular world, if you're non-secular and you follow a devotional Bible of what you should do with communications and all that kind of stuff, there are corollaries in the secular world too. So one of the things I try to do is I don't just, I'm a Baptist, right? But I know everybody's not religious. A lot of people are agnostic these days. So when you try to come at them when you talk God, they kind of close down as soon as you mention the word God, because now they're thinking you're just some kind of whimsical person, right? So there's some practical stuff that you need to tell people also so they can relate to whatever good message you have to have. So you build a foundation by asking the right questions. you know, when you are courting your woman. And the first thing I tell is people look up the definition for courting, look up the definition for vetting. And then as a man, if you're going to get married, make sure you're in a proper frame to actually have a woman that's going to be on your plan. So if you don't even have that together, you're not even starting on a solid footing, you know, especially these days. I think that's more important than ever. You know, before you could be a little bit whimsical, but you can't really do it these days because you can't, well, as a man, you can't trust the kind of women that's out there, especially if you have something. I mean, if you want, and if you're, and since we're supposed to be the gatekeepers of marriage, we should do a really good job of vetting the women that we want to become our wives. And I don't think we do that enough, you know? And since, and I'm gonna get off, I'm gonna land it here. And this might be a little bit off, but if you're a woman that you're vetting a little later between 24 and 34, like my brother said, there's a good chance that some of them are gonna have kids. And if you're a single man without kids, I'll never advise you to marry a woman with a kid already. But so you need to look further. But if you happen to do that, you got to expand your vetting process to make sure that you have authority over the responsibility that you're going to take over. And you can't do that unless you guys live together for at least 2 years without being married to see if she's gonna you can exercise your authority over her children and see if she assimilates to your leadership over her and her kid. And it'll take at least 2 years to do that. And if it doesn't work, you got to walk away. You know, so there's a lot of different things you have to do if you want to have a long marriage. And that's just a couple of things I said. You know, there's a few things in there. Oh, here's another one. Here, I'm going to land on this. You have to have a conversation about whether this woman's life depends on her being happy. If she says everything that happiness is a primary thing with her, do not marry that woman. Don't marry her because you can't keep nobody happy.
Right.
I don't give a shit what you do.
A lot of people treat marriage like joining the Columbia House. That's what they treat the marriage about. You know, it's like you get married for a penny. You know, you get married, and if you don't like it, and how many people actually paid the Columbia House? If you was a debt collector ever, I was a debt collector, and I knew that there was a whole bunch of accounts where people never paid. They was delinquent in that. And this is how people treat marriages, like the Columbia House. They figure when they go so far around that they can just say, I don't want to be in it no more. And then they can just turn back around. That's not, you're not building anything, because they think that marriage is supposed to save them. They think relationships, just relationships, they don't even have to be marriage. They think that these relationships supposed to save them, when in actuality, they are to reveal the terrible shit you have in your life. All your flaws will be revealed when you get into a relationship with a man or a woman. It won't save you. And that's what a lot of people think it does. It doesn't.
Man, I remember the first time, though, Mr. Bennett, this for you, because I know he liked to laugh. I remember the first time I was laying in the bed with my wife and she farted, bro. I was pissed. Let me tell you what happened. Man, I was laying in the bed, man. It was in the middle of the night, bro. It was unexpected. And I was just laying watching TV, and all of a sudden she leaned over. She said, I said, what the fuck is that? I said, wake up. Wake up. I hit on the arm. I said, wake up. She said, what's wrong? What's wrong? I said, you just released something, a spirit out of you. We need to go get an exorcism done on your body, because maybe I don't know what the hell that was. I mean,
baby, you rotten.
There's something going on the inside. I told her, baby, we need to go get you prayed over. Hank, that ain't happened to you yet?
What's up, brother?
Your woman ain't farted in the bed with you yet?
I don't care if she did, man. I ain't got no problem with
it. Me neither.
Look here, man. If a man can eat his woman's ass, farting in the bed ain't gonna be
Oh my God.
That don't mean nothing, man.
Oh man.
So you admit that you eat ass?
Yeah, I eat my woman's ass.
With spray, he good with sprinkles
And
and whipped cream and natural honey.
No, ain't no whipped cream.
Hold on, man,
Hold on. Do you have like a napkin on your waist so you make sure you're done well?
Like that, why do I need that?
Oh,
Look here, let me tell you this. Black Dave, you can relate to this. When I'm down there eating that ass, I be drooling like you do when you fall asleep.
Black David, it's Jesus. Wake up, Black David. Black David!
Black man, take this thing down.
Lord. That is cold-blooded, man.
Y'all so wrong. Black man, y'all so wrong.
No,
y'all so wrong.
Hank, I want to share something with you, Hank. Look at this. We just discovered this tonight before you came in.
Black Trey is not here. He would have fall off.
Look at this.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I see that on IG, man.
It's gonna be a lot of people getting chemo.
But here's the thing, Black man, I'm glad you shared that. How many promiscuous women think it's okay to do multiple people like that without realizing the consequence behind that?
Black Dave, the question is, we have an admitting moment right now. The question is, do you eat ass?
Hell no.
What you think, Hank?
No. Hold on.
What you think, Hank?
I think he does, and he was embarrassed to even say if he would.
No, I don't eat that.
That's
I eat the other part. I eat the other part.
That's your wife, man. It's your goddamn wife.
Our pain killing himself laughing. Okay.
There's no way in hell, man. It's just no way.
Hey, so our pain, you can't do it?
Hell no. Never.
First of all, our pain couldn't get his old ass down there anyway.
I can get down there. It might be a stretch, but I ain't doing it. I don't have to worry about that. Oh,
like, baby, help me up, baby.
Hey, listen, we got some safe positions, goddammit. You know, so.
Hey, Dr. Nakumbe, what advice do you have for people that go down and eat and
oh my God.
Eat, you know, because some men will go down and eat and come up with a piece of corn in their mouth. So,
oh God,
what are your thoughts, Dr. Nakumbe, about this?
This show has definitely took a turn.
Your clinical opinion.
Yeah, my clinical opinion.
Yeah, your
because I eat Pringles. Yeah. All right. So.
You trying to stay professional, man. You want to go and come down to the cesspool?
No, on one end, that's that bullshit. On the other end, that's that sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right?
That is too
I am
much.
glad Trey is not here on the panel. I know you're on the treadmill.
Oh, I ain't laughed this hard in a long time. Oh my God.
Trey, if you're listening, I'm glad you're not on the panel. I know you would have hurt yourself.
You probably listening.
Yeah, but at least he's not on the panel falling off.
Because you know what? One night out our pain. I was talking to Corey Hager. Corey Hager said, well, one night I was down there eating out of that thing, and she had made some potato salad with some raisins in it, and I fucked around and got one of those raisins in my mouth.
But man, your ex is wrong. Your ex is all wrong. Number one.
How we get here?
Your ex is all wrong. Number one. That ain't me.
How do we get here?
Oh my God.
Man.
Your ex is all
Because of
wrong.
Hink, man. It's Hink, bro. It ain't got nothing to do with me. It's Hink. Hink started this, man.
Well, here's the thing. Hink says it so aggressively. You know what I'm saying? Like he does. He says, I eat ass. It's like, hey, calm down. Okay.
We almost got to say he's a special dude. You a special
right.
dude.
He says it aggressively.
Now you know what?
Maybe that's why the bear's so thick.
First of all, I'm not special. I'm just the only one who admits it.
Look, Hink, let me ask you a question, Hink, because Hink said he knows when a man's lying. So, Hink, how many men on this panel do you think actually eat ass?
4.
And name them.
Black David.
Ain't me.
JT.
Yeah.
Dr. Nakimbe.
It's in the lips. It's in the lips. But you know what? But
my God.
Let me tie it back
Lord
let me tie
How
it back
black men not part of it? How black men not part of the list?
Let me take it back to what Take Heed was saying.
Oh my God.
Because men can ask over and over and over and use the wear down method for like a particular kink. And then when she finally caves, let's say it's from the back. When she finally caves, if they had sex 10 times, he probably would only do it from the back about 3. And where she would be like, dude, you asked 1 million times. I finally said yes, and you only do it 3 times. But with women, historically, what they would do, once you do that first lick and you get that first corn kernel, she's now expecting you to do it. So you lose the choice because you did it once and then prove to her that you really are, 1, nasty, but 2, you are really into her. It turns emotional, like, wow, you did that for me.
Oh my God.
You will be doing it again. That's that Take Heed what she was talking about. Not ass eating, but I mean the part about how her behavior will change towards him. And then in fact, when she looks at him now, you know, when she rolls and looks at him in the morning, like, damn, you's a nasty mother. But shit, you know, get it again before you go, you know. But
wait a minute, doctor, do it again, doc. Wait a minute. Hold on. What's gonna do, doc?
Like, hold on. And you can't make any excuses now. You can't make any excuses. So I just want to tie that back in.
Oh Lord.
Let me go into confession. I do not eat ass. But I will say, but I would admit, what I do, I need to wear a goggle more often.
You do
That's
what?
what I do. I don't eat ass. What I really do, I need to wear a goggle more often. That's what I'm gonna say.
Gargle more often.
Gargle. Oh, that's whoa. Pause.
Look,
because ain't nothing on your wife that she can put in your mouth and make you gargle on it.
No, I mean gargle, as in I ain't trying to get blind.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought you said. I thought
you know what I mean.
Why?
So you're in water. You're into the water sports.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, so you let her piss in your face?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, I'm just. Oh no!
Hey, do anybody have like
we're gonna get into St. Peter. So
you ain't need a bit of dude. Have you been to the Whitestone National Park?
No, I'm just saying. Like I see. Like remember that video?
Have you ever been to the Whitestone National Park? We had those geysers.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Because I seen a video. I seen a video of people in your tribe that was shooting. The women would sit down on the ground and shoot the sand across with they into the men face. I don't know. You tell me. Hell, I don't know.
When I say goggle, I'm trying to avoid the geyser. Okay.
Look at RP.
You guys are crazy, man. Hey, listen, I hear you, man. So my wife has been unhappy for 36 years.
That's on you. That's on you, baby. Ain't me.
So I know she loves me, man.
I ain't Hank.
Hey, Hank started this, man, and Dr. Nakumbe just added to it. But you know what? My grandma always said the quietest person in the room eats the most ass, and I think that Mandrell ain't said nothing.
JT and Mandrell.
Make JT look at JT. Turn his camera. Oh, so sometimes
there's no happiness here. No.
Yeah, and you know what? This is what Hank do, y'all. Right before he eat that ass, now he'd say.
The only thing about that, black man, look, I got music to play with that. It fits Hank perfectly.
Okay.
Because you have to edit that. It's a song. Look, seriously, you gonna trip out when you hear just the intro of it.
Oh,
and Hank's gonna love it too. Hank, it ain't gonna be no crazy stuff. I think you're gonna love it. It's just a song no one's expecting.
Oh,
that's all
and
it is. It's
and
just
even
take care of
JT.
everybody else. Hank would know what it is. Because we're fans of pretty much the same music.
But
He'll recognize it, but it's like everybody else.
There was a rumor going around about Dr. Nkumbe. And I heard some of the women saying that he can eat the inside of an apple and not touch the outside. And so I was like, I'm not going to, I don't know. They say, that's Dr. They say he's a trick that he does.
You ever thought about writing a book?
It's all psychological. You get him thinking that you're doing one thing and you're going for another.
How you eat the inside of the apple without touching the outside?
You'll know they know when they,
hey, this is what they do right here. This is what they do right here.
Yes. I'm sorry. I had to remind myself where I was at. Praise God.
Oh man!
See, he's a big dude. He's limited in what he can do. So that big dude is doing some things. I get it. Yeah.
Oh, y'all crazy, bro. Oh, y'all got our pain over there about to fall out the damn chair. He the one started this, bro. He started it.
You started it.
This is what the barbershop do. So. They like to roast a lot of people. Either I'm the target or Mandra the target. We both the target. Now everybody getting it.
Now, Black David. Now, take heed. I didn't. And our pain. Welcome tonight. I know y'all not familiar with Black David being on the panel. However, Black David is a salesperson. He has his own. He's an entrepreneur, and he has different things that he sells. Tonight, he has a goat knuckle sweat, and it's goat knuckle sweat helps with the muscles in the back. It also helps with men that has erectile dysfunction, and also and it helps. And women also apply it to their edges as well, to bring back their edges. So, goat knuckle sweat. How much is it, Black David? You said $16 an ounce or some shit like. I'm sorry. So Black David, he got some for sale tonight. If you need anything, go see Black David. But anyway,
I'm glad Annie's not here. I'm glad Sohail's not here. It would have made it worse.
It would have made it worse. But man,
I'm gonna get jumping running. But I just want to just say this really quick to the women listening and who are out there, and thank you. Take heed for your perspective. Just wanted to add,
absolutely,
to the women who are listening, please know the boundaries of your relationship and your role, the boundaries within your role in your marriage and your relationship, and please understand the limitations. Please do not confuse your husband's support with foolishness. And please do not confuse his allowance or space for you to be who you want to be, not limit your dreams, but please understand the priorities. Please have those conversations first. Please form that collaboration, that partnership, that understanding, and create the plan. So how do we do it? What stages do we do it in? And what does it look like if the plan is not working? So if I'm the millions of dollars and I'm working, but my attitude is shifting, before we had it up to here, we want to know what it looks like down here. So we know when to throw in the towel. That way you don't change this very positive thing that you were doing in collaboration for your man, your husband. It doesn't change from a positive to a messed up situation, and not only cost you your relationship, your family, and it impacts the community and your kids and the next generation. Okay? So thank you for allowing me to be in this space. I've got stuff to go eat now. Take care.
Whoa. Go eat it up then, Doc. Hey, listen, guys.
I gotta step in real quick, guys. I'm sorry. Gentlemen, I love being on the panel with y'all tonight, and I enjoyed myself. Even the laugh. Hank, you are amazing. And I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me, Black Man Unfiltered. But I gotta do my wifely duties, and it's
Absolutely. Go take care of business, Suge.
And so my husband is sitting on the chair looking at me funny.
Hey, tell him I said what's up.
So everybody have a good night, y'all. Take it easy.
All right, take it easy, sweetheart.
Take it easy.
So earlier, guys, I showed the world a video of my 10-year-old. He wants people to call him Baby Kevin Samuels, and he did this on his own. I laughed so hard that I almost broke character. Mandriel, JJ say this is for Uncle Mandriel. This is the one that jumped all over Mandriel back when he came to Dallas. I'm gonna show this video real quick. He said he's Baby Kevin. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Baby Kevin.
Who's online today?
My name's Maya.
Hello, Maya. What do you need today?
Well, there's this boy in my class, Baby Kevin, but I like him, but he's starting to get on my nerves. I really just, he's just crazy or whatever, and I think I'm better than him anyway.
So you think you're better than him?
I do think I'm better than him.
How tall are you?
I'm about 3 feet.
How many bowls of cereal did you eat today?
I ate 3.
So you need a handsome third grader. You mean 3 bowls of cereal a day. Get out of my line.
JJ crazy, bro. He said that's for Uncle Mandriel. Mandriel. He said don't show that to Shushu. He in love with Mandriel's sister.
If he do that for Halloween, all the people will be laughing their ass. They're like,
bro, the dude is crazy, bro. That boy said when he said bowl of cereal, I almost lost my.
How many bowls
of cereal you ate today?
How many bowls of cereal you ate today? That's the part that got me. It's Kevin Samuels, but he's still talking in.
I was thinking the same thing when they say bowls. I was like,
it's still relative to children, like his age range. How many bowls of cereal you ate today? You know what I'm saying? It's like. Not slices of pizza.
He said,
"You know what I'm saying? How many bowls of cereal you ate today?"
Then he gonna go into the second part. He said, "You want a handsome third grader, and you getting up every day eating 3 bowls of cereal?
Get off my line.
Mandriel, I could say, what kind of bowl of cereal you from? The regular bowl of cereal or the Black Rob bowl of cereal on the music video? Remember that video Black Rob did?
Like David, hold up. Please slow down and speak English to me. I don't speak clack.
I got a question for you.
But David, I don't speak clack. You got to slow it down.
I don't speak caca either.
Yeah, you do.
What I said,
it's a regular
bowl. It's a about the regular bowl. Whatever. I said either regular bowl.
It is, and you know it. Black David will verify this. There is a language where you do the. And the clacks and shit. There's 3 different languages.
Yeah, but that's a non-civilized sword to the south.
And the Yoruba tribe speaks it. Well, one of them.
No, they don't.
I got a question for R Payne. R Payne.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you do.
So, how long you been married, R?
35 years.
Damn. Congratulations, boy. My God. I didn't know it was that long.
Mr. Bennett.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be 36 in August.
I want him to answer a question real quick. R Payne, I'm gonna get everybody final thoughts in a minute, but R Payne, tell us, how have you been able to keep that marriage stable this long? I mean, what did you get? What advice do you have for young men who are in 2-year marriages, 7-year marriages, 8-year young marriages?
Okay. Yeah, I know where the question's going for. I mean, we talked, man. I was ready for marriage. I was looking for a wife, right? And I stopped dating just random women for just fun. And I just kept looking for a woman that I wanted to simply want to hold hands with and not be on the down low with, And somehow her friend worked with me, a female friend. Matter of fact, 2 people that she went to school with. And I went to a party. That's where I met her, at a house party. And we just went out, and the way we met was really unique for me, right? Because it was her party, and she was it was a horrible party. It was her and her girlfriend and around 10-15 dudes, right? It was just a bad party, but she kept walking past me. right? And I stopped. I said, listen, are you here with somebody or can I get a shot? And she looked at me like I was crazy. And we just kept, so we talked after that. And once we went out, man, she was living at home. Her father was a nice guy. I met her father quickly and her mother. And we just started driving. We just talked, man. I talked to her about a lot of stuff. And we had real meaningful conversations. And I don't want to go through a lot of them, but just one or two. It's just two. And I'm not going to be real long. One day she was kind of upset because things were a little bit too real. She said, listen, I'm trying to put my best foot forward with you, blah, blah, blah. I said, I don't want to see what your best foot looks like. I want to know when your feet stink. I want to know whether I can deal with you, and that kind of stuff. Let's just talk. Let's just be real. I want to know. You don't have to go out of your way, but let's not try to, hide anything. Let's just talk. Another time when she was going to try to tell me she went to college, she graduated, and something she got in her mind and she was going to tell me some of her little experiences and shit. And I stopped her there too. I said, I don't want to know what you did. I don't give a shit about all that stuff. I said, listen, the only thing that matters is if you learn some shit while you were going through that, you better make sure I get the benefits of that goddamn thing too. So don't try to hold back if we fooling around. We never talked about that stuff again. And we just had a lot of meaningful conversations, and we went out. We were engaged with them 5 months. 5 months. And we got married a year later. My father-in-law paid for the wedding. It was old-fashioned. I went to him and asked for her hand in marriage. All that old-fashioned shit, man. And so we had a solid foundation.
Yeah.
And we just went through she worked and I worked until we had our second kid. I told her, you got to quit your job because it's just driving me crazy. Because she was coming home all frazzled and shit. I said, I can't. I said, quit. And I'll find a way to make sure I'll take care of all that shit, And I did. I can't get a new car. You couldn't do a few things, but we just jived. And here's one thing in the marriage that I stopped it too. I checked her a couple of times. When the very first time she said, these are my kids. Because a lot of women like to do that. Now, my priority is my kids. I say, well, let me stop you right there. Those are our kids. So I don't want you to say that no more. Those are our children and our relationship, and the kids will be taken care of if we take care of our relationship. If our relationship is strong, and she's really a God-fearing woman. If our relationship is strong under God and with each other, the kids will automatically get taken care of, right? And the rest of the household. We had those kind of conversations, and she's soft, man, soft, feminine stuff. But, and back then I was red pill enough to know that she was still a woman. So I never took her for granted. Right. I never took her for granted because if the shit would have turned, I would have been out with a sign, I'll work for food because she'll take everything, especially when she started working. So we would just jive, man. And now that we're kind of close with an empty nest, one of my youngest daughters is still here, but she's working full time. But she's here, getting the bennies of being able to save her money. But me and the wife, we still jive, man. We still hold hands. We like going out together. We do all that kind of stuff. And let me tell you, and even we even, of course, still have hanky panky. One day, I was fooling around with her, right? And
eat that ass, wasn't you?
I said, listen, let's get down, And I was just bullshit. And she said, yeah, anytime. And I looked at her. I said, man, here I am writing a check. I ain't even ready to cash right now and shit. And she was just down. She was just, man, she's just there. I don't want to say she's a unicorn, but whatever I did, whatever she did, she just did me and I dig her, and we just jive, man. We really do. And I don't know. Right. I don't know what else to tell everybody. So when I get on these panels and hear everybody going through all this shit, I have to deal with Trey calling me an old dinosaur every time he sees me. He said, man, people don't live like that no more, blah, blah, blah. But there's some basic fundamental things about a woman that has not changed. And I'm going to stick by this. The nature of men and women hasn't changed, especially women. The tools that they use and abuse are the only things that's changed.
All right. And what's your final? What's your final thoughts on the show tonight?
I mean, that's a good show. I think it was a good topic. I mean, we talked about this before, and like I said, I really believe in the end it's not just a cultural thing why men can't stay home and let their wives work. I think it's also biological. I think the sister kind of told us a little bit about that too. There's just something innate about a woman that she loses respect for a man that she has to take care of. I just believe that.
All right. Thank you so much, man, for being here tonight, my brother. I appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed the last, man. Look for we here every Friday, same time, brother.
Yeah, I've been checking you out. All right. Yeah. All right. I'm muted.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Who next up? We got Mr. Let's see who we're going to Mr. Bennett.
Let me go so you get out of here.
Okay, that's right. He got to go eat up on some.
Hello, Mantrell. How are you, brother?
Mantrell? How you doing, girl? I mean, boy, man.
I ain't seen you in a while, man.
Wow. We missed Mantrell last. Oh, what that Mantrell at? Where he at?
He's still here.
Okay.
Keep poking the bear. He'll come out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a life before eating ass, Mandrell, right there. Now he's eating ass on a regular basis, boy.
Anyway,
he said you got to keep poking the bear. He'll come out.
I know that's right.
Anyway, no. Bottom line is, with this situation, there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home husband if that's what you want. If that's what the two of you are into, you go right ahead and do it. Makes you happy. It ain't for me. I couldn't just sit around the house and do nothing. I had to contribute some way other than just, even if I'm paying all the bills, I still feel the need to do more stuff than that. You know what I mean? So I mean, for y'all, if it works out for you, you go ahead. But I mean, and then just know that the likelihood of your woman respecting you, being a house husband or a stay-at-home dad, highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. I mean, number one, people in general don't know how to be in relationships, let alone know how to be in a marriage. And that's when you're trying to do everything the traditional way or the right way. So you try something like this, is this unorthodox and out of the box. This is new. No one knows what they're doing. So you got to think of the strength of your marriage, and which, in my opinion, is based on commitment and loyalty. Loyalty. Because if you're committed, you know that this relationship is about more than just you. You know that. And you don't leave for reasons like, well, my husband doesn't make X amount of dollars per year. I make more than him. I'm unhappy. If someone leaves you because of those reasons, financial or because they're not happy, they were never committed to you in the first place. That's just a fact. Any successfully married couple will agree the same thing I just said. No matter how old, no matter what generation. If you leave because of financial reasons, irreconcilable differences, you ain't happy. What else? What's another one? Those are the big three, ain't it?
Those are the big three.
Yeah, those are the big three. Yeah, you leave for those.
I still don't know what
it's like this. Yeah. Like JT, you ever you ever?
That's what I got a divorce with.
Yeah.
I still didn't understand it.
Here's the thing. It's like this. What it's supposed to mean is like you and your lady are at an impasse on an issue, and you agree to disagree. You can't reconcile the difference between. You can't reconcile your differences, which is BS. Because if you're committed to one another, you will sit there and figure something out until you reconcile those differences. If there's a problem,
she hard-headed and don't want to listen.
Or you might have been wrong. And you was a hard-headed one and didn't want to listen.
Hey, that could be also true too.
That might be the case too. But like I said, the big three, if you leave for the big three, because of the big three, then you were never committed to begin with. And that's something that a lot of people don't know, because I think a lot of people don't really know what a commitment is. You know what I'm saying? And then they say they want these things. They get into it where they're committed and they're like, hey, this ain't for me. Things getting a little, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with this situation. Watch out what you're asking for, because ladies, know yourself. Because if you have a stay-at-home husband, or a stay-at-home whatever, and it's a man and you the breadwinner, you can't afford to look at him any other way than you did when you first met him, because you agreed to that.
Yeah.
You agreed to it. You were part of that decision making. Just because you don't like it, don't mean you get to leave. Don't mean you treat him like trash. Okay, you made your bed, lay in it. You got an issue with it, bring it up to him. Talk to him about it. Say, hey, we got to work something else out. This ain't working for me. And let him know how severe the issue is. If it's an inferno fire, tell him. If it's a nuclear bomb, he needs to know that too. But you can't blame the guy if it's something you agree with too. Just be careful what you're asking for, people. And fellas, if you're a stay-at-home husband, you ain't got no kids, shame on you, number one. But if that's for you, go ahead. Do what you do. You know, fair enough. Whatever. Thanks. Good night. I'll see y'all. I don't know. That's what
all right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Beige Ambassador, Mandrell, for being here tonight. We appreciate
Hey, listen,
you
man.
being here,
Listen, don't hate on Hazelnut.
Huh?
Don't hate on my skin color. You know what I'm saying? You just
I said
mad
the
because you
beige-
look like this.
I said the Beige Ambassador. What's wrong with the Beige Ambassador?
You know what somebody called me the other day, man?
I could have said coconut.
You know what somebody called me the other day, man? What?
What's that?
Dude called me khaki. He said,
Damn!
Khaki Jones. Khaki Jones. I call my nephew. I call my nephew Khaki Jones.
You do?
He's the same color as it. I call him Khaki Jones. Yep.
I ain't never heard that look. Nobody else told
JT,
me.
Mandrell looking like a pair of duck heads over here, boy.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Or a pair of Timbs.
I ain't heard that in a long time. Pair of duck heads.
A pair of duck heads, boy.
Hey, I used to rock a pair of duck heads with a pair of Eastlands.
Man, come on, man.
Everybody did.
Everybody did, bro.
I used to do that too, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Mandrell, brother.
Yeah. All right.
I'm glad to see you, brother. For real.
Yeah,
Glad
good to see you, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mr. Bennett, what's going on, man, with the terrible tile, man?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bennett here from that ass eating conversation, but we'll talk about that behind the scenes. Go ahead, Mr. Bennett.
Well, first of all, great topic tonight, actually. Because like I said, I see some of this. I've seen some of this up close, and the relationships and how they're working. And to my knowledge, they're still working. But I think that, as I said earlier, part of this conversation is what our perception of the role would be. I think it can work, and I think we have, again, we're not going back to the 1950s, whatever. This is going to be a reality of our time. Women are going to be making money. Women are in the workplace. So, you're going to have more of these situations going to come up, and we have to chart a way forward. And it has to be based on, again, mutual respect also, always, and it can't just be conditional on what our financial status is. The idea of a woman, and again, shout out to those who were speaking about it earlier. Yes, it does happen where if a woman loses respect for you because of the money situation or what have you, that's a terrible thing. And I think it just shows, really, where the true value really is. But if we're going to be talking about one pot, if we're going to be talking about one bank account, if we're going to be talking about this is us, then we have to look at some of these roles differently. So again, if you're going to be a guy who's going to be at home, but you're going to be at home with a purpose to raise the children or to manage the affairs of the household or to work from home or whatever that is, or you're in a position to do the things that you've always wanted to do rather than thinking that you have to go to work to get a paycheck. As long as that is defined and as long as you're at peace with that as a man, then I see no issue with it. But you have to be honest. I mean, at the base of all this, people have to be honest with themselves and not just trying to go along to get along. If that's not you, if that's not something that you as a man can accept, then you need to be vehement about that and reject that. But if you're truly going to be open, understand, can you actually do this? And as I said earlier, I believe it. I know Sir Hale has some comments earlier. Shout out to Sir Hale. Always respect that, brother. But I do think that, again, for a lot of us, yes, I think our job shouldn't define us. Purpose always does. So, again, if you have a purpose, multiple jobs can be done and you still have a sense of purpose. It's just the vehicle through which you're doing it with. And so you have to be able to, if there is a cataclysmic change in your life, your manhood should come from who you are, who God made you, not from your job or your aptitudes. Because again, if God forbid, if you lose your ability to work or anything like that, then your manhood, you're still a man, and you need to, yes, go do the work, do the therapy, as Brother Mandrell was saying earlier, do the work necessary so you can have that sense of self through a new purpose, repurpose yourself if you have to. But these things, I work in this job so many years, I don't know what else, what to do with myself, or my identity is lost or whatever. It shouldn't be that way, especially with these times now where there's a lot more opportunities where people can reapply themselves. You see it in these spaces. There's a lot of things that a guy can do. So you should never feel like, oh, well, my identity is tied to this one specific thing. You should be able to redefine yourself and be flexible with the times. You're surviving, especially in this world. Your ability to survive is going to be based on your flexibility, not your rigidity. And so you'll make sure that that's always a tantamount. But again, great show again. Thanks for the laughs. Again, I haven't laughed like this in a long time. And as always, you keep it funny, you keep it serious. This is just a great place to hang out. And it's like you can walk in, you just have no idea what you're going to walk into in a barbershop. So anyone who's on here tonight, again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Become a member of the channel if you can. But Black Man, again, is providing this network where we're serious, we're funny. It's just a great place to hang out. It's great people here with good hearts and certainly good, good values here. And but we love to cut up too. So again, thank you for everything that you do, Black Man. And this is make it opportunity to use and grow your channel.
Hey, now before you leave, we need to pray for Mr. Payne. He over there eating ass and coughing like a
Mr. Payne, you ain't supposed to cut off your hair while you eating that booty now.
You gotta mute that mic while you eating that thing.
Sound like he's spitting out the seeds. They got a hair.
Come up for some herb, baby.
Stop it, man.
You gotta come up for some herb every once in a while.
He eat your ass, trying to hold his breath and eat that ass. Don't go chuck on it.
Oh man.
Nice meeting you tonight, brother. I think the first time I've seen you on the channel. Appreciate you. I'm trying to catch you.
Make sure next week
I'm on season 27 myself, so I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah, he's been married for 27, Mr. Payne.
I appreciate you doing everything that you're doing. Thank you. I try to learn from my OGs, from the guys who even is contemplating marriage. I try to learn from everybody, and so I appreciate being with guys who are actually doing the work. So salute to you and everything.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much, Mr. Bennett. Yep. All right, man. We got my boy JT. JT, what's your mind looking like, Doc?
Hey, man, it was a pleasure meeting R. Payne. I always see him on Trigger Mike's show, so it was cool to chop it up with you, brother. Most definitely. It's always good to see my brothers over here. Like, man, you coming up with these good shows, man. I'm telling you, it's out cold.
Appreciate you, brother.
Out cold. I'm just like what Mr. Bennett was saying, man. I like being around brothers that's putting in the work, man. You talk about 20, 36, whatever, man. These are some numbers, man, and it it's just not the quantity. I know for a fact, like just. I know you guys got some doggone stories, bro.
Yeah,
stories, because that's the whole thing. You grew, and you probably had about 100 different purposes depending on what it was, because you had kids, and so you was fathers, and you probably uncles and cousins and all these other different things that it stem from probably your marriage and everything else. So it's pretty dope when you guys can come here, man, and give y'all a perspective, because I'm really soaking it in. And it's funny, man. I've been pretty much looking at so much when it comes down to how to build a relationship and how to on every aspect. And I was looking on YouTube, and they got this one show called How to Get Rich, but it's not about getting rich. It's just a finance. It's about your finances and being aware of your finances and making sound decisions, right? And it's so dope because they had people that were rich. They had people that wasn't so, that was probably making about 30-something thousand. You had single people, you had married people. Most of them were married or people that was in relationships and stuff like that. And it was showing that a lot of these folks, they ended up finding what their purpose was, because they started doing one of the number one things that keep marriages kind of screwed up and stagnated. They started talking about their finances. And it's been said for years that most couples never have the conversation at all about their finances. And about time you talking about when they get a divorce, it wasn't the fact that the finances were screwed up, it's the fact that they've never talked about it. And so when they did try to talk about it, they didn't know how to talk to each other because it was such an emotional thing. And one of the things I learned was that that's part of building a strong foundation. When you can talk about that, I think you'll be able to talk about everything else in your relationship. Everything else, because I didn't even realize it until I was at a certain part of my life where I was just like, it's like taboo not talking about damn finances. Now I got to the point where I look on a daily basis, credit scores and all these other things where I can use money as a tool. And how I can be rich for me, not how the world sees me being rich. It's being conscious of how I survive in this world, the tools that I can use. And now I have a woman that's with me. I get a chance to do it again. I got about 7 swings at it. This is my 7th swing. I'm not going to do all the things that I did in my last relationships with her. If we're talking about being a leader and all these different things, man, we have to be able to have these conversations, these what we call hard conversations, until they are easy conversations. If we want to be able to teach our kids, we have to show them how to communicate with one another. I think that one of the biggest problems we have is communication when it comes down to relationships, but not the communication, because everybody would say that. I'm talking about real, downright, let's talk about this and have a solution and have a process and have a goal and all these different things. That's what I think communication is. I don't know the answer to, do people supposed to go through, hardship with each other, have arguments and things like that? But I don't want to have with my lady and always have to have arguments with her. I want to have as less arguments as possible. And one of the things I'm learning just by being on this panel, talking to a lot of people, man, and shout out to you, my man, with you, Trigger Mike, and a lot of those other guys, man. You guys be coming up with some great alternatives. Black Man Unfiltered, shout out to you, man. I can't wait till we get to a point where the younger folks will be really willing to listen to us. It's going to happen. We just got to keep pushing at it, brothers. If you guys can get a chance, man, go over to What We Know Podcast and subscribe to my channel. And I got some content there. I got a lot of content there right now. I just haven't did a live in a while. And that's only because I have some personal issues that I got going on right now, man. But I'm about to get the popping again, baby. Especially in the summertime. I'm about to start getting these videos going and start going back and getting these lives going again and having these same type of conversations we have over here. And we'll be able to teach and learn from one another, man. And that's all I got to say, man. I'm going to land that plane, baby.
All right, man. I appreciate you. We got Black David in the building tonight, man. He ain't sleeping tonight. He ain't dancing tonight. But we're going to get him in here. And then we're going to get, last but not least, Brother Hink. Now, listen, Black David, when I put you on the big screen, I know you like the way you look. I know that you're an ex-stripper, and they called you the Nigerian sledgehammer. However, tonight is not your stage. Tonight is just for a little synopsis of what you want to say about the show. So go ahead Don't you stand up with no thong on or anything for the ladies tonight. Don't you make your chest jump. Don't do any of those things that you have done prior on my show. All right, go ahead.
Hey, Black man, hold on. Black David, you know when you was a teenager, they used to call you the dancing gazelle, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, I'll say that when I was a teenager, I had the dance floor locked down. If I tell your girlfriend, that's your problem, not mine.
Just picture Black David with a leopard skin thong on with baby.
That'll never happen.
Doing the robot.
That's so wrong.
Hey, his leopard skin thong had tassels on the side too.
That never happened. I thought I want to say hell speak. I ain't the one.
Doing the African scarecrow.
That'll never happen. Trust me. I'll say this. You played up Caribbean songs. I woo your girl. You lost.
I love you, bro.
I love him too. That's my brother, man. That's Black David, my guy. That's my guy.
I will say this. I was able to watch most of the show, even though I was at my granddaughter's birthday party. It was really cool. And y'all really hit it off the park because it was an interesting topic. And I believe it's not something it can be one and done because there's so many angles to this conversation concerning stay-at-home dad. In technical terms, I might be the stay-at-home dad. I work from home. When a kid come home from school, they see me. For the past 2 years, that has been a blessing. Because before I was working from home, I was working outside. By the time I come home from work, be around 7, 8 o'clock, my kid about to go to bed. I didn't have enough time to spend with them. So this is the type of conversation that it make guys like me think deeply. Like, we don't want to miss precious time with our kids. And for Tabitha, well, I hate to say this, but I had to give it a think. It looked kind of like he emasculated her husband, even though he trying to be nice about it because that's his wife, but it could have been done in private. Now, I'll be real with you though. I don't think today's society can deal with the traditional mindset that some old couples who have been there for 30 plus years can do the same thing. So I don't think that's happening. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. If I wasn't married and I'm still single, I would get my passport, leave the country, find my wife outside the country. Because a lot of the women in this country don't have the values. I see it on the street. People think it's a joke, but it's not a joke. Because me, I'm a family man. I love my kids. I love my grandkids. And I'm happy to see my granddaughter happy to see me because she was mad happy. I was like, yo, I don't want to miss her birthday. Well, I stayed here, but like, nah, that's my grandkids. I had to make sure I show up. She was glad. This one right here, we might have to ask the lady their own point of view because we need to know what they think. We know how we think as men. So we're all about duty and responsibility and purpose. That's factual. But sometimes women can gaslight, act like they're on board with it when it's not. But I don't think with the joke that Black man mentioned about how that fake lottery ticket, I was thinking the same thing too. So I tried the same thing too and see what would happen. To be honest, because sometimes you gotta think about it. I'm working from home, trying to make another stream of income. By tonight, before it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna figure out 2 other things to make sure I can make more money because we Nigerian, we grind hard. We don't give ourselves a break. As long as we accomplish our goals, then we're good to go. Other than that, no vacation time. That's what it is. I want to shout out to our Pain for showing up here. Yo, Sugar Mike Show. I bring a lot of great topics that make me want to think about it more with my Black men out there. Like, what can we see from a different angle? How can we address certain issues? Because it's not a simple one and done conversation. It's not. Sometimes you gotta turn to another angle and see there's another solution to that problem. Because we are solution-based people. We are real men. We're not boys. We're not adult male. We are real men. We have to find a solution to a problem. And I believe will come a time that when we find a solution, you'll have it documented and passed to the younger generation. Yo, this is how you do it. Stop the BS.
Yeah.
Other than that, you can find me at my my YouTube channel, TBN Tech Talk. I'm mostly here. I put out Black Men Unfiltered, but in this show when he mad busy, I'm doing my best to help him as much as I can. This is the great network.
I appreciate you, brother, for everything that you do, man. Always. I just subscribed to you too as well, Mr. Payne. I just subscribed to your channel as well.
Mr. Payne, cool dude. I like his views.
Appreciate it. Much appreciated.
Oh.
You know what, Mr. Payne? I just had a series on marriage. Man, I wish you could have been a part of that, brother. But anyway, so Tuesday, I might reach out to you on Tuesday. Put your information in the back, your IG or whatever you want to be contacted by. Because Tuesday we're talking about soul ties.
Okay.
And I think that the not the normal conversation we would have, but I'm talking about like a conversation of, I just read something that blew my mind about, somebody broke down some scripture that says that when a woman, God gave the woman the vagina, and when the vagina bleeds from having sexual intercourse, that blood ties her to the first person that does it, which should be her husband. So man, we gonna break that down. We're gonna break that thing down.
I'm not sure I want to touch that topic.
Yeah,
I know what it means. Trust me, I know what it means. I don't want to touch it.
Yeah. So, Brother Payne, if you want to, just put your information in the back chat, man, so I can reach out to you. Hink, my brother from another mother, Hink, man, I know you're gonna give it to us tonight before we leave, brother. How do you feel about the tap for the situation? How do you feel about men being at home taking care of the babies while the women out working? How you feel about Black David eating that? All that. Just talk to us.
You know, shout out to Black David for joining the ass eating fraternity. You are proud honorary member.
Hold on. I'm the pum pum eater. Correction.
The AEC.
Shut that one down now. I am the pum pum eater. No, I'm the pum pum professor.
He's the secretary of the ass eating committee.
No, change that. I'm the pum pum
Black
professor.
David.
I want to hear it.
You need to save that mouth motion for your wife's ass now. Don't stop doing all that goddamn talking.
They be like, girl, what kind of tissue you use? I don't use no tissue shit. I got a husband.
I got Black David. I got that Black David white.
Hey, that's not it.
So, man, about that situation with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am a pum pum professor.
Okay.
I got my doctor. Okay.
Right on. Right.
Not the ass doctor. I'm the pum pum doctor. That's correct.
It's bullshit. Go ahead.
On a real note about the type situation, it's disappointing because, like I said, to me, I just think she's doing it for attention. You know, to increase her social media following and all that good stuff, and to really give these ladies, man, send out a bad message. Talking about retiring your husband. Stop! Don't do this. Don't do this, because that's not what your husband wants. Retire him. I mean, you know, how much less of a man you trying to make the man already feel? First of all, you did it. Now you out there publicly making videos and showing people. Yeah, you're doing too much. And your choice of words. Why could you say, you know, we retired? Why could you use the word we instead of I? Come on, man. Again, she did it for selfish reasons. So, hey, she's a performer. She's an actor. She's got all these activities. So guess what? You know, I'm gonna say some things that gonna, you know, bring some more attention to myself, and that's what she did when she produced the video and put it out there. So I guess, you know, her hidden agenda worked for her. So congratulations on that. But as a husband, I mean, you know, and who's to say 3 or 4 years down the road we could be hearing the same story we hear with these other celebrities. You know, she up and left. You know, we praise her talking about she's a traditional woman by doing what she's doing. But yet she can fall within the same frames of some of these other women. Like you said, getting to talk to her friend circle, getting to see what else going on around her, looking at him sideways because he's not out here grinding and working hard like she is. You know, she got all these job opportunities. That should wear on the woman. Because women are built to work that hard like that long. It's just not them. So eventually she's going to get tired, going to get worn down. Like, damn, you might need to go back to work. And he's like, nah, baby, I'm comfortable now. He just got spoiled now. He sit back with his feet kicked up. He ain't trying to do it now. You made this decision for us. I ain't trying to go back work now. And guess what you're going to do? Well, yeah, I don't need this type, man. I need a man who's about his business. Man, he was that before you so-called retired his black ass. But that's just a different thing, man. So, hey, man, find the right woman for you.
Yeah, she is really busy, bro. She's on talk show after talk show after talk show, and now she's a cast of the TV show called The Chi. I don't know if y'all watched that. She's on The Chi, and then she just launched her Tupperware bowls and spoons, and then she went to the Food Network, and now she got the hot sauce and the plates and she got so much shit going on.
And one aspect that's good, right? You got multiple streams of income. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Again, most of these ladies don't like to work it hard that much. It's going to eventually wear on her mental,
right,
especially her physical,
right?
Because that's just tough. Men are built for that shit. Ladies are not. And so, who's to say what's going to happen 2 or 3 years down the road, man? You hate to hear it, but this could be a reality. All these other celebrities been together for a long time, and all of a sudden they find a way to dissolve the marriage because I graduated on from him. Come on, man. Again, I'm gonna say it again. Man, find the right woman who's gonna be on your roster, on your team, who's gonna do right by you, who's gonna respect you, and show you the love that you truly need. Not these fly-by-night chicks that you see out here now, man. That means you got to kiss a lot of goddamn frogs to find your princess. Then do it, man. Keep search high and low. It's not going to be easy. But finding a good thing is not going to be easy. It's never has been. You want to find a good thing, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to go through some trials and tribulations and a lot of ups and downs. But when you find that good woman, it'll be well worth it, I'm sure. So that's my final thought today, man. Hey, great, like you said, great topic, Black man. I appreciate you having me over here once again, man. It's all good. You know, I got nothing but love over here, and that's why I keep coming back, brother.
All right, much love to you too, my brother. All right, man.
Right
before
on.
we get out of here, man, I want to. I know y'all know Corey Hager. He's always in the chat, and sometimes he comes up on the show. But he has a book out, ladies and gentlemen. I had an opportunity to read it. It's called Stillwater by Corey Hager. Make sure you guys reach out to him and get a copy of this book. He sent it to me. This book is really good. He asked me, is it good on a scale from 1 to 10? What is it? I'm going to say 7 because it should have been a little longer. I think you left some things out of here, Corey, that you left me waiting on the next book. So I guess the next book, I'll get some of these questions I have in my head answered. But it was a great book, man. I appreciate it. It was a good read. So if y'all want to go and reach out to Corey, it's called Stillwater by Corey Hager. All right.
Absolutely.
Right.
I got to get that. Hey, Corey,
Also,
if you're still in, brother, let me get that your information, man. I definitely want to support you, brother.
Absolutely. And another hold on, what's something happened, didn't it? Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. In another book that I have, that I think for the fellas, I have the 10th year anniversary copy of it. However, you can still go buy it in any store, any bookstore. It's called by Tony Evans. It's called No More Excuses. And it says, be the man God made you to be. This is a great read. Please read this one. This is amazing. So please go and read this. These are the 2 books that I recommend that you guys read. Please go get them if you can. It'll help you out. It'll give you a different mindset and a different view on things. But again, thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you guys for supporting us tonight. You should see more. I would love to have more Mr. Payne on the panels with us. I'm gonna try to get him in here on a Tuesday if he's not eating too much grapefruit. But anyway, now I'm trying to get
that's the evenings, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll try to get you on a Tuesday with us, man, so we can have some more great conversation. It'll be good to have some more OGs like you and my boy Hink and my boy Mr. Bennett in there to have your different perspectives especially about this soul tie conversation. It's going to be one to talk about. So I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys so much, man. You being here tonight. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here. Again, shout out to Mr. Bennett for leading us, having his show last week. He did an amazing job hosting the Barbershop last week, and the week before that, my boy JT hosted the week before that. So I appreciate you guys just so much for coming in and giving your perspectives and having the platform to do that. Because we're all family here, man. So thank you so much, Black David, for always being in there, helping your boy out, being there for your boy. I appreciate it. When he ain't stripping, he over here dipping. What's going on?
Update. Lakers is up 117, Memphis Grizzlies 83.
Damn!
Wow. Yeah, they're going home.
Damn, what part is it?
It's over. It's
the Warriors might be over also. They lost by 20 tonight too at home.
Oh, it's now updated.
The Warriors lost?
No, not yet. No, they lost. It's now 3-3. Right now, the Lakers 120, Memphis Grizzlies 83. The Grizzlies are going home.
Oh my God! So it's 2 game 7.
Right, but I'm saying the Warriors, they got to go back to Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
Game 7.
So the Golden State Warriors, they lost the game tonight, so now it's going to be tied.
There's only one game 7. There's only one game 7.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because Lakers sending them home tonight. So,
for the
Black
Grizzlies,
David,
they going
what
home.
was the score? What was the score with the Golden State Warriors?
Golden State Warriors was 99-118.
Damn, what happened at home, fellas?
They look sluggish from the beginning, man. They look sluggish from the beginning. Yeah.
Hey, they're gonna have to bring it. You know what's gonna be the upset though? If the damn Kings end up playing the Memphis Grizzlies. That's going to be.
It wasn't going to work.
Memphis
wasn't going to work.
It'll be the Lakers.
Let me tell you why.
I mean the Lakers. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. The Lakers and the Kings.
Dylan Brooks sank the Grizzlies for opening his big mouth saying LeBron James is old.
He is old, but okay.
Yeah, but he paid the price for it now.
Yeah. But anyway, man, I appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna let y'all get out of here, man. Thank you for them scores, Black David, and thank you guys for being here tonight. And guys, if you want to donate to the channel, hey, you know what it is. Go ahead and hit that super chat. If you don't want to do the super chat, you can hit that Cash App on you, boy, at Black Men Unfiltered. $ Black Men Unfiltered. So, but we out of here, man. Thank you, R-Pain.
All right, take it easy.
Absolutely, man. Let's get us out. Bye.